everyone. Welcome to the stream. Darren, you showed up right as I was starting the intro. I was like, I don't have time to pull you up and chat with you.
You're good.
But thank you for being here. I am still extremely under the weather. You can hear it in my voice. Like, I'm barely able to talk. I didn't make videos this week. I wasn't going to go live tonight. I was going to take the night off because I'm like, nothing's going to come out. There's going to be no big news between now and Saturday.
You're wrong.
Very wrong. I mean, there's so many things to talk about. And so I was like, I'll just wait till Saturday to talk about stuff. And then Marvel does this 5-hour thing yesterday where I'm like, okay, I guess I'm streaming on Thursday night. So here we are. Anyway, before we get started, there is a unique reward in the poll for tonight's super chats. It is a higher goal because I'm trying to reach my monthly goal. This is the last stream before the end of the month. So the goal above my head here, you can't really read it, but we're almost there. So I'm trying to reach the monthly goal. It's a unique one because it's all out of the house things. So if you guys look over there, we can either do something like I go to my local comic book shop live with you guys. We walk around, look at comic books. I record a driving vlog because I know Paige keeps saying people want that. I don't think people really want it, but I thought I'd put it in there. Just a live out and about video, maybe go to the movie theater and talk to people coming out of the movie, something like that. I've got the setup for that now, so I can do that if I want. But the other one is a local Comic-Con. Now, I'm going to be on a panel. I didn't talk about this much, but I'm going to be on a panel at a local Comic-Con for me.
That's cool.
With a couple of other content creators. And we're going to be talking about positivity in media, like diversity and positivity and stuff like that. Fighting back against like negative stuff in the algorithm. So I'm going to be doing that. So if we reach the goal, what I might do is find someone I know who can film for me while I'm doing, like, walk around with the phone and the mic and stuff and film for me. So we can do that as well. I might even do that anyway, but I thought I'd put it in there just to see what interest is. But you guys can pick if we reach the goal tonight. So it is 10 super chats, and they are the teal super chats for the next 2 hours. I'd like to hit it. If we don't, that's fine, but I'm trying to get as close to my monthly goal as possible. I'm probably not going to mention it much because we got a lot to talk about tonight, so we'll look through that. But before we get into all this, Darren, I'm sure it's been crazy for you because you streamed earlier, right? Didn't you have a stream earlier tonight?
I've done... Okay, so...
yesterday was like 2 streams I saw. You were on like 2 different streams or something yesterday.
So I streamed the event itself. Like,
right.
I came home about 2. I streamed about 3 hours of it, which was like most of like the huge news. That was really fun. Then I went on Buddy's channel. Then I went on Chainsaw's channel. And then this would be my second one of today. Like, weeks like this are fun, but also crazy when it comes to like all the channels I'm a part of and stuff. Because obviously everyone wants to do a stream. This is crazy news, and I really like being a part of stuff like this because it really does like this is the memories I have when I'm going to think back on Doomsday. You know, like this is the stuff that I'm going to remember for years. But no, this has been. I mean, this is your show, obviously, but like, how are you? Like, what was your reaction through everything yesterday? Because like it was a crazy event.
I was confused. Like, so I didn't see the beginning of the stream. I caught it like about an hour, maybe about 45 minutes in, because I was setting up. I had to do a stream yesterday with like the other podcast guys.
I saw that. Yeah,
and that's okay because I can conserve my voice. I'm one of like 5 people, so it's easy for me to sort of just not talk very much. So I was like, wait, what is this? Because I was sitting here at my desk and I was like, chairs and names on chairs, like what is happening? And I had to look into it, and I saw that was the way they were doing the reveal. Now I will say, sitting by myself, it was very annoying. Like if I were in a group with friends where you could talk about stuff as it was being revealed, it would have probably been much cooler. But kind of just sitting here by myself, I was like, okay, can we get to the next one? So it was a little bit, so I actually turned it off after about like 2 hours. I was like, I'll go back and look at it later. Which, to be fair, every big announcement, I saw tweets about it. So it was like immediately I knew what the announcement was. But it's interesting. We're going to look at the numbers. Apparently, it was very successful. So we'll see like what that was. What were you going to say? That I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, like I think this is like that aspect for me was like such a fun experience. Like I've heard people be like, this was terrible marketing. Why would they do that? Clearly, it's not. It's the highest rated live stream of all time.
Yeah.
You had 5 hours worth of free press. Everyone was like glued to their chairs, and I think you could have either
watching a camera pan.
Yeah,
that's what it was. So.
We were watching chairs. That's all we were doing, and you had the option to do one of two things. You could have made it a fun event, which I think me and a lot of other people.
I would have loved to have done. That would have been my preferred thing to do, but I was not able to do that.
Or you could have watched it later. You could have shut it off and it not be a problem for you. I think that people being like, it was annoying, it was boring, whatever. It's like, okay, not for you, that's fine. But to like say it's bad marketing, I think it's just a lie. I think that's a blatant lie.
Well, there's a couple of things. Like after thinking about it tonight, you know, like after they did it and then looking at all the numbers and stuff, this was something. Okay, so this is something no one's ever done before.
No.
So Marvel was like, you know what? We're going to just fucking do something crazy because the criticism is everything's samey. We want to build hype for Doomsday, which, by the way, based on everything I'm seeing with this, the idea that it was going to be a $1 billion movie is pretty much locked in now. I think before I was like, it's $1 billion. But now after seeing all of this, and this isn't even everything. That's what people have to remember. This is just the first set of advertising for this movie. Yeah. We're going to get more names and more things are going to come out as time goes on. So it's kind of interesting here. So 275 million views on this stream.
Yeah.
50 plus trending topics, individual trending topics on the stream. 27 chairs over 5 hours.
Yeah. This event proved to me, and we talked about like why they're doing the stuff with Downey, why are they doing that? I don't think they needed Downey. I think this proves if they just had this cast with the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the current Avengers, they didn't need him to make $1 billion, to make $2 billion. Because
so it makes me wonder why did they do it then? That's
because they're scared. I think they're scared. So? Yeah.
I have a theory. About Doom and Tony Stark and Robert Downey Jr. I have a theory about that we'll talk about when we get to it. Because I hope that I'm right, because if I'm right, I'm going to really love the way they did that, but we'll have to wait until we get there. What I'd like to do now, with everybody kind of hanging out, is sort of go ahead and go through the cast that we had. Now, you've probably done this a million times.
Yeah. And then once you're done, if you want, I made a little like cheap looking like spreadsheet with everyone in their individual teams and stuff.
We can look at that. I did see you post that on Twitter. We're going to go through, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each person. I just want to talk a little bit about them. And then we're going to talk about the people we haven't seen yet and who we would want to see come in. And just sort of give our like ideas about all of it. We do have some super chats. Let me do these quickly before we get into this here. Lone Wolf kicking off the teal super chats with a $5 one. Thank you so much. And a team member supporting the channel every month. Appreciate it. It was the worst in terms of how they did it, waiting every 15 minutes. Took 5 hours. Then they edited it down to 1:40. Kevin should have came out with the mic. And there's more. With a $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Just showed a pic of the cast one by one. Darren, I'm sure you disagree with this, right? You don't think this is the correct way to do it, in your opinion?
I understand the frustration, but I also think that comes with the fun of it, because at least from my perspective, like I know not everyone's jumping on here and talking about things, but from my perspective, I had a blast because 15 minutes almost wasn't enough time, because we're like, okay,
you're talking about characters in between the chairs.
Yeah, we're like, okay, what does this mean for this and this and this and this? And then like that fun factor of like, shut up, shush, we need to listen to this music. And I think that was the funnest part of like, because how they did the music, because each character had their own individual theme from their movie or character or whatever. It's like, wait, who is that? What's that from? What's that? And that guessing game. But I do think you're right. Like, I think if you're by yourself, you're not with friends, you're not like a part of the thing, it might get annoying. But then, like, you have that option just to not watch it right now. Like,
which is what I did. I turned it off because I was like, I'll just go back and watch it later. And then, like Lone Wolf is saying, the edited version that showed like everybody was faster, and you watched it after it was done.
Sure.
But I think we have to remember, guys, like they're in a predicament now where this is their opportunity. I want Thunderbolts to be massively successful. I think it'll be good. I don't know if it's going to be massively successful. I think Fantastic Four is the next big movie for them. they want to turn all of this around. And I think this is their attempt to try and do that. Now, there are some criticisms about like how little women there are in this lineup, in this initial lineup. We'll get to that as we go through.
Yeah.
But I do think what they're doing here is they're trying to, unfortunately for people that loved Phase 4 and stuff, they're trying to sort of bring back some of the feelings of those earlier phases. But if they do it right, if they're respectful about the way they do this, I actually think it's a good thing. Only because I don't dislike the early phase characters. I like all those characters. I just don't want to see them pull back on the characters that we've seen recently because they've got these older characters.
Yeah, I unfortunately think the way they did this is smart, because they said this isn't even half, there's a whole other half.
Yeah.
I bet all of those characters that you're wanting to see are most likely in this. But this had to appeal to the casual audience. I think you nailed it right there.
Yeah.
You needed to appeal to the people who haven't loved Phase 4, who hasn't loved Phase 5, but they can see, hey, the Avengers are all people I mostly know.
Right.
Hey, those X-Men characters.
The X-Men characters. That's a big one.
Yeah.
A lot of people said, why announce them first? They did it because they're trying to bring in that audience that they've kind of lost.
Yeah.
And I think as much as I have criticism about some of these characters coming back, I do. I think it's smart for them to, in their first like promotion for Doomsday, official promotion for Doomsday, is to reach out to the people that haven't really been tuning in for the MCU stuff. Because we're going to be seated anyway. The reality is we're going to be seated anyway. So, like, regardless of who was coming back, I was going to see this movie. And I think any current MCU fan, people that are still watching it now, and there's a lot of us, we're going to go see this no matter what. So in their first promotion, they needed to remind people that there's a whole different world of superheroes that we now have access to, excuse me, that we can actually bring in and use in these films. I think that's an important distinction. Again, I have some criticisms. We'll save that when we get to the characters. We have another super chat that popped up here from Cody, dropping $10. Thank you so much, Cody. I really appreciate that. The fact people can't figure out that certain actors, a lot of actresses specifically, Brie is on Broadway and Tiona Paris is filming a movie. It's AVX and Doom is pulling the strings. Yes. I think it's very clear to me that AVX is what we're heading towards, but I think they're leaving room for casual people to not put all that together. Look, is it going to be full on like AVX 2012 Avengers vs. X-Men thing? I don't think that's exactly what we're going to get, but I think we're going to get some of that because look, I have theories about it, Cody. We'll get to it. I want to get to that. I have some theories about what I think is going on, but let's go through the cast list first. And then I'll get to that. But thank you for the super chat. Thank you guys so much for being so generous. I do appreciate it. All right. So Deadline has released like a little mega cut here of everybody that's in cast. We'll start here. I think Chris is the first one. All right. So we have Chris Hemsworth as Thor. This no brainer to me. I knew 100% he was coming back. Love him as this character. The only movie that I really haven't totally liked him in was Love and Thunder, and even in that one he was fine. It wasn't really him that was the problem with that movie. So this is a no-brainer for me. What about you? Any thoughts on this?
No, like when it started, this was I think the most interesting, like the most confusing one to talk about, because we didn't know what it was first. Like when it first started, it just said Chris Hemsworth, and we're like, oh, this is about Thor 5. This is about something. And as that 13 minutes kind of went on, we're like, this has to be something bigger than Thor 5. I do think it's interesting, and we maybe have more of this conversation later. This is the only OG Avenger on the roster right now, right? The only cast member from that movie. So I talked about it on and I guess Loki as well, kind of is part of that cast too. But I do think that could be a potentially really fun story for Thor, having a story about because Thor's whole thing these last several movies is how he keeps losing people and losing people and losing people, and I think you could have a really cool story about him rejoining a team where he doesn't really know the people on that team very well.
And excuse me, and they have to. Yeah, I know my voice is crazy. I sound like I hit one of the little voice changers over here. Excuse me. He has to also build trust with the new team members that he doesn't know, because not only do they not know him, but he doesn't know them, and the all of the stuff that we've seen Thor do as an Avenger over the years, essentially being the Superman of that team. He's one of the main guys. I've talked about this before. when he drops down after he gets done with getting his new hammer.
Thanos!
Yeah. Incredible. Like that scene is incredible. Not so happy with what they did with him in Endgame. I thought that was kind of dumb. But in Infinity War, he was the shit. Like when he shows up, it's like this is, people were like Hulk, Hulk, Hulk. No, when you want to send in the big guns from the Avengers, Thor is the character you send in.
He's your powerhouse, like the straight up Avenger character we have on this roster. For sure.
So all right, let's go down one more. So yay, we have Sam Wilson, Captain America, Anthony Mackie coming back. This is important because I think, well, look, Brave New World it hit its mark in the box office for what it needed to break even. But I still think public perception is going to play a little bit into how this character is moving forward. Mm-hmm. I'm glad he's here. He's probably going to be the current leader of the Avengers in this movie. And Thor will know him as Falcon, but he's not going to necessarily have worked with him as Captain America.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting.
And they've never had like a huge interaction, right? Like people are bringing up, oh yeah, he met Sam, he met Ant-Man, he met Shuri. Yeah, but he's never really worked with them. He kind of just like worked along with them, right? He's never, I don't know if they've ever had like screen time together or like straight up like a conversation on screen.
Yeah, they've been in a team together, but they've never been buddy-buddy. That's not really his friend.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of pairings in the Avengers, and he kind of ended up with Winter Soldier. Like after Captain America, that was his buddy. He didn't really interact much with Thor outside of that.
Yeah, here's my question, actually. This is something I've been thinking about today. Do you think Captain America 4 would have done better if it came out after Avengers 5 and 6? Because I think now people are going to come out of this movie, like these two movies, and be like, oh, we love Sam. Sam's incredible. Sam's amazing. He's the lead of this movie, most likely.
I think we're going to see a lot of retroactive, like, I love Brave New World now, because they saw him in Doomsday. Yeah. Because the people that didn't, our voices are crazy. It's like when you suck a balloon and you get like the air in the balloon. People who have not seen Brave New World, who didn't go out and see it in theaters and haven't watched it yet or whatever, they might wait until after Doomsday. And then like with the Marvels, they'll go back and watch it and go, oh, this isn't as bad as people said it was, which is, I think, might happen. Okay, we have Vanessa Kirby as Invisible Woman. Now, we haven't seen her in anything yet, so I don't really have much to say about this. But this tells me that whatever happens at the end of Fantastic Four is basically setting up Doomsday. Mm-hmm. I mean, we kind of expected that was going to be the case, but...
I do think it's kind of interesting, just like really quickly.
Yeah.
Having her and Sam right next to each other is interesting because they said she's the lead of the Fantastic Four movie. She seems to be like the front runner of that film. So it's kind of cool they put potentially what could be the lead of the movie kind of right next to each other. Sam, her, and then, not to jump ahead, but maybe Bucky might be like your main three of this movie.
Yeah. Paul Rudd here as Ant-Man. I'm glad to see him back. Mm-hmm. He wasn't bad in Quantumania. I don't think he was. He was just himself, but
he was just there. You know,
the movie was chaotic and it didn't totally work. Still think Jonathan Majors was the best character in that movie because he did such a good job. But Paul Rudd is his personality. He isn't like anybody else in the Avengers. He's a very unique character, not only with his suit and what he can do, but his overall personality is unique. So I think him being there makes sense. Like he would totally come back and join the Avengers if they needed him.
Yeah.
All right, we have Yelena. So here's the issue. A lot of people are saying that this is now spoiling Thunderbolts because we see who lives.
Yeah.
Look, you guys, I want you to hear me when I say this. The one character that's definitely dying is Taskmaster. We know that for sure. I don't think there's any question about that. Almost all of the other characters are going to continue on in the MCU in one way or another. We might see one other character on the team die, but we're getting a soft reset anyway, so it doesn't totally matter. I think it sucks for Thunderbolts because a lot of people are probably talking about soft resets already. So that means Fantastic Four is the only movie that really matters going into Doomsday. But I like Yelena, so this is fine, you know?
Yeah, Yelena was never gonna die. Bucky was never gonna die. I do think it was up on the others though. Like, not that I thought they were gonna die, but like I wouldn't have put it out of the question either. Like, there was a big one that I did think was gonna die that was kind of spoiled from this, which
Yeah.
I'm not mad about, but I understand the frustration with it. I don't think it's so much like them saying they're in this movie. I think the worst part is just saying who was not in the movie.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
the hard part.
Well,
Yeah.
but the thing is, we know this is only one half of the reveal, so we might see other names revealed.
Funny.
All right, we have U.S. Agent Wyatt Russell here. I thought he could have been on the chopping block. I was like, he's a character that if they killed him off, it'll be fine. But this kind of makes me wonder if we're going to get what I think we're going to get, which is a few different Captain Americas sort of existing together.
Potentially 4.
Yeah. So I feel like that's kind of, I want to like this character. I know a lot of people say he's misunderstood in Falcon and Winter Soldier because a lot of the bad stuff he does after he takes the super soldier serum, but he's already sort of a hothead anyway, which isn't totally different from his character in the comics. I mean, it does make sense, but he redeems himself in the comics. So I need this character to try and redeem himself in Thunderbolts, I think is what needs to happen.
I could see him being either this movie or Secret Wars death, right? Because I could see him becoming the character that he wanted Sam and Bucky to see in that first show, of like that person to lay down his life if need be. So I could see it happening there, and Sam being like, "Oh, respect you." In that moment, you were Captain America, kind of thing.
Well, I think that one of the big things that's going to happen is he's got to prove himself to Bucky in Thunderbolts.
Yes. Yeah.
And then by the time we get to Doomsday, Bucky might actually vouch for him with Sam.
You're right.
And that's going to add a little weird dimension to that relationship. Because, you know, you got a friend that acts weird. You know, like you've got a friend that's defending somebody that you guys were not cool with before. And always is like, wait a minute, why are you defending this guy? So that might add a little extra layer to it. But I will say having another extremely powerful, well-trained super soldier on your side is always going to be helpful. So hopefully that works out for him. This one I was really surprised about. I know that controversy kind of disappeared. The one with the accusations against him. I don't remember exactly who it was, but there was a woman that worked with him that had some accusations against him.
Yeah, that had been dropped, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they've been dropped now. So I'm guessing that never really went anywhere. I guess a lot of people in the industry didn't believe it or whatever. I watched Wakanda Forever again just 2 nights ago before this even came out. And I was like, you know what? I want to see more of Namor from this world. I know he's not the traditional Namor from the comics, and we may get a version of that in Secret Wars. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I like him, and I think he's one of those characters where he's in a gray area of how Marvel can use him. Like, he can only be a character in a movie. They can't have a movie about him. So I could totally see, because in the comics, Namor sometimes helped the Avengers. Sometimes he did stuff within his own self-interest because he cared about his people first and foremost. I could totally see him becoming like an Avenger, like somebody that goes out with the Avengers to do stuff to help protect the world. Because he can fly. He's extremely strong. He's extremely durable. He can breathe underwater. I mean, there's so many things about him that are useful as an Avenger. And in the comics, he's a part of like a lot of the major decisions that the world makes because he's a representative of Atlantis, which we don't really have a lot of that going on.
Which I think is what they might lean into in this movie. I think we might be dealing with almost a potential World War III situation here.
Right.
Where I think maybe, because we have that alliance with Wakanda and Atlantis, right? Like we have that thing. I feel like maybe one of them wants to go and help. Maybe it's Wakanda wants to go out and help the world fight against Doom, and he's like, "No, we're not doing this. This is dangerous." And then we will have Bucky as like a congressman trying to be this like mediator, and I feel like that could be a big subset of this because this is another army that we can potentially have in our alliance against Doom, which could be really interesting.
All right, let's continue down here. All right, yes, Shang-Chi, one of my favorite movies from that phase of Marvel. I love this movie. I love this character. I'm so excited to have him back. We should have had a second movie already. I'm sorry. The second one should have been out already.
Right.
What I love about what we're getting here, these last 2 or 3 people we're seeing, is we're getting a very interesting mix of characters. We're finally seeing these characters come together and work together. I don't know if 3 hours is enough for something. Like, I feel like we're going to be really tight on time with some of these characters. I actually wish the movie was longer. It's going to be a 4-hour version of Doomsday. But I guess that's what they want us to. They want us to come see Secret Wars. They want us to see that second one.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm excited to see him. I don't really have much else to say except I wish we could have seen him already. It feels like we should have seen him already. That was really loud.
It was the whole Doomsday thing, or I'm sorry, Kang Dynasty thing, because they basically said like he was almost the center of that movie, like he was a big part of it. So they couldn't do Shang-Chi 2 until that movie. So when that got canned, that movie was just not able to ever come out.
Yeah.
So.
Daddy Hates the Metal with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. Spoiler: Darren is playing Iron Fist in Doomsday. Confirmed.
You got me. Gosh,
is that
dang
confirmed?
It. I don't know.
There we go. Thank you for the super chat. All right, here we go. Bucky's going to be there. Yep. Not too surprised. Again, I expected him to be there. I don't have much to say. Bucky's one of my favorite characters. Of course, I'm happy he's there. I don't think this is too surprising. We've already sort of talked about him anyway with the whole Sam thing.
Yeah.
And working with John and Yelena.
Yeah. No, I feel like I already mentioned it, but yeah, I do think it's going to be a situation of like on this side of the fence, it's going to be the Avengers and Bucky kind of introducing his team to Sam to be like, hey, these guys can help. Let me help bring these in, and him being a co-lead alongside of Sam, which I think is very, very smart. I think that'd be a smart move.
All right, let's go down here. All right, we have Shuri in the house. So this is kind of okay. This made me smile because not because I like her like political and social stuff that she did, because she said a lot of really kind of iffy stuff, but I like her as Shuri. I like the character of Shuri in the MCU, and I think it's important for her to be Black Panther again in something, because I truly believe she's either going to share this title with somebody else, or she's going to lose the title altogether by the end of Secret Wars. That's my thoughts on it. I don't want that to happen. I think that she deserves to continue on, but I think they want another T'Challa or T'Challa Jr. or something like that. I feel like that's what they want. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think we're going to see another T'Challa introduced, or age up his son, or what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think we'll eventually age up. I think ultimately that would be like a good Black Panther 3. It's like she's still Black Panther, but she's maybe preparing him to potentially take over, have him aged up a little bit. But I fully agree. I'm very glad, because I feel like people were already writing her off. People are like, oh, we're going to get a variant of, T'Challa, and we're going to, kick her out and blah, blah, blah. I want her to at least have several movies as Black Panther. And this basically confirms she'll at the least have a trilogy of movies that she can say, yes, I was Black Panther for. Yeah. I hope she's in for it.
Because the thing about Black Panther is it's designed to be passed around, which means that they could keep Black Panther movies going on indefinitely. Like, just, they could keep making them. Black Panther 5, Black Panther 6, Black Panther 7. Cody here with a $5 super chat saying, I think Shang-Chi 2 was meant to be a Battle World movie.
I could have seen that.
Yeah, I think that would have worked. There's some news about movies that are taking place during Doomsday that I don't know if it's kind of rumors, but I've got a tweet with like all the different rumors about it. Some of them from sketchy sources, so we're take them with a grain of salt. But I know that the N. Snyder has made some comments that we'll look at, and it's always kind of, you never know with where that news is going to come from.
He was very wrong this week.
Oh, I didn't see it. What, give me a quick idea of what he did that was wrong. I didn't see it.
He while at work, I was watching the Christian Harloff show because he was covering, and I wanted to hear as much as I can while I was at work. And he called Jeff Snyder on the phone and was asking what's going on. He said that he was 95% sure that they were going to reveal 45 chairs yesterday.
Oh.
He said tonight I am 95% sure we're getting 95 chairs.
Wow.
And they will go until midnight. and we're like, well, we'll see how that goes, and that was wrong. Not to say he's wrong about everything, like he's got some things right, but I feel like his track record hasn't been.
It's so kind of like hit or miss for him. So, all right. Next we have the Thing.
Cousin?
Okay. Now, I mean, we're going to see the Fantastic Four. All of them are going to be in there. So, okay, this one was a big one.
Yes.
So this is the beginning of like the what the fuck, because when this name dropped, I remember like Twitter exploded. Exploded. So we're getting Kelsey Grammer as Beast, which I think, to be completely honest, he was the best Beast we had in the X-Men live action films.
Yeah, great.
No shade towards the other actor. I don't remember his name, but
Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, it was Nicholas Hoult, wasn't it? I didn't really like him as the Beast. I thought he was okay. I like Kelsey Grammer a lot better as Beast. But we also know that we got like, did he voice the animated one at the end of the Marvels, or was that the actor from?
Yes,
okay,
that's
him.
him.
So I wonder if that's which version. I don't think he's going to be animated, but I wonder if that version, the one that we met at the end of the Marvels, is going to be the one that we see.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So I think moving forward through these characters, the way they're going to get around all the other shit that happened in the X-Men movies, the death of this character, what this character did, what that character did, is the X-Men we're going to see are going to be the same actors, but they're going to be from that universe.
Yep.
From the one that Monica went into.
Which is why I'm shocked there wasn't a Monica like in this announcement.
Right.
Like even if they are saving her for that second part, I honestly would have reviewed her and her mom in this cast, because if they're not in it, that's going to be like, okay, how are we going to get around that? We just going to leave her there, like. Yeah.
Well, and I'm assuming that's how she's going to come back when the incursions happen and everything sort of blends together with Battle World. Yeah. I think that's how she's going to come back over. All right. Next up, we have Louis Pullman as Sentry. Now, we do have I want to look at this here. Where's it at? We had a new look on the teaser. It doesn't really show much, but I bookmarked it, of the Sentry suit. And it's kind of like a silhouetted picture. Where's it at? Right here. I love the silhouette. So if the cape is the right length, I like the shape of the boots. I think the costume's going to look really cool. The hair is the right length. I am so fucking ready for this movie. As much as I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts is the movie that I am the most looking forward to out of the two Marvel movies left this year. I'm so excited about this movie. It's got two of my favorite characters. Sentry is so fucking awesome. And if they get him right, it's going to be so cool and so, like, we talked about how Thor was the Superman of the MCU for a while. Captain Marvel is sort of like the Supergirl of the MCU. They're both at that level. They're the big powerhouses, right? Sentry is even more than that. Like, we're talking about a character that is even more powerful than the two of them. So this character going up against anybody, including like the Thunderbolts, the whole team of the Avengers, is going to be extremely difficult to defeat.
I do wonder if you're going to have like a mini like Thunderbolt v Avengers like scene or something, and it's like Sentry versus Thor or something.
Maybe. To show power scaling. Like, this is how powerful the guy is. Sort of like how Hulk got beat the fuck up by Thanos at the beginning of Infinity, or because they wanted to show just how powerful Thanos was.
Do you think he's a villain here?
I think that he's going to be fighting his dark side. I think, like, you know how it's like a dual personality thing with the Void and Sentry?
Yeah.
I think, because even in the comics, sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes a bad guy. I think we're going to be seeing him at his worst in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
And they're going to have to, because they're not going to, look, guys, no pretense here. The Thunderbolts cannot beat Sentry. It's just, there's nobody on that team individually or even as a collective powerful enough as they are to defeat Sentry. They're just not. So what's going to happen is I think they're going to have to appeal to his good side to get him to come back from the void. That's what I think is going to happen.
I meant in Avengers, though. Like, do you think he's a villain in Avengers? I
think he's going to be a hero.
Okay.
But I think that if Doom or whoever Doom is employing to help is going to try and appeal to his evil side or push him to switch over. And that's the thing about the Sentry in comics anyway, is that you never know when that's going to happen. So you have him on your team, and it's like you never know if he's going to be on your side 100% or if he's going to flip on you. You know what I mean? If I remember correctly, I don't know if they've changed it or not. Let me check here. Okay, so yeah, it's basically like in the comics, the one I remember is like self-doubt. So if he doesn't believe in himself, he becomes weaker. That's one of the big things. He's very susceptible to magic, just like most brawler characters are susceptible to magic. Apparently Null defeated him. Is that the one that killed him? Is Null the one that killed Sentry in the comics? I haven't read any Sentry stories recently, but I know he's dead in the comics, or at least temporarily dead. So yeah, we'll see. Let's jump back over here, and yeah, he ripped him in half. Yeah, I do remember seeing that picture of that happening. I love Sentry. You guys, like, again, he's not in the comics right now. There's like other variations of Sentry, or people with Sentry powers that they did a couple years back. But I love Sentry. I love characters like Hyperion. I like when people take the Superman concept and flip it on its head a little bit. And Sentry's a good example of that, because he's not an evil Superman. He's a person that has like the powers of Superman and can flip from good to evil on a dime, which I think is really interesting. Yeah, Screwface, I'm glad he's not going to be treated like another evil Superman. I think they're going to constantly be on edge around this character. I don't know if Sentry's going to stick around forever, but he probably will help with all the stuff that's going on. All right, we got a couple super chats here from Lone Wolf, $2 super chat. Says RDJT's more casting soon, so Jeff might be right. Well, I think Jeff is right. There's more people that are going to be cast, but I think what Darren was saying was he was saying they were all going to happen on the same the same time, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure we'll see that. Who knows when that's going to be? It might happen like next week. I don't know. We'll have to see. Is there any rumors about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Quinlan says, do you think they'll give him his true origin? Are you talking about Sentry, Quinlan? Let me see what the internet says.
Dedicates the medal. San Diego Comic-Con might be too late. If they're doing it to avoid like filming stuff, like that might be too late. Like they'll probably already be on set and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I don't know.
So Quinlan is saying the one from the comic books or whatever. I think Sentry was created, I want to say relatively recently compared to other characters. I think he was like mid 2000s, somewhere early 2000s. But if like in terms of like his actual entry into comics, like being a middle-aged man battling addiction, drank the golden serum, got the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. I forgot about that line. Such a good line. Yeah, and then bringing forth the void or whatever. I don't think they're going to go as far as to keep the origin story exactly the same, because the thing is we're meeting him for the first time in Thunderbolts. Here's my theory. I think Sentry is being experimented on in wherever this is that they're at. And he might be like a test subject, or he could be a volunteer, somebody that wanted to come into the program and wanted to be a hero.
Sure. Yeah. It seems like a situation of, you're not being treated well and we were misguided on what we were supposed to do. Hey, come join us and we'll help you escape, help you do whatever. And they turn on the real villain. Yeah.
Like what triggers the void to take over and everything. I don't know if it's going to be exactly the same as the comics. Just like with anything in the MCU, I think they're probably going to adapt it somehow. We'll have to see how good it is, how good the adaptation is. All right, we have Danny Ramirez as Falcon. I like this. Fine. Not much to say about him. I'm just glad he's getting more screen time because I enjoyed him in Brave New World, and I need him to get a bit more identity, and I think these kinds of movies will give him that opportunity to do that. So
Yeah, I've liked him enough, but like, if he never showed up again as well, I don't think I care. Unfortunately, like that's not on him. They haven't given me a reason to really love him yet.
yeah,
If that makes sense.
but you think he needs to come back though, right?
Yeah, no, like I like, especially with how it ended. Like it seems like he was going to be there, but like I wouldn't have been like upset if he wasn't in this roster or anything. Like oh, he's not in here, okay, kind of thing.
Yeah. Let's see here. I did.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Daddy Metal is the void like the shadow dimension. No, I mean it okay, the void has a place we've already seen in the MCU. It's where a lot of stuff is taking place over on Loki and things like that. But excuse me. The void is like a manifestation of, how do I put this? Like the deepest fears of Sentry's, where he starts doubting himself and starts being self-conscious and all this. And so the void takes over as like another personality. I think that's how it works in the comics. And the stronger Sentry gets, the stronger the void gets. So yeah, it's represented that way. A super demon. Yeah, I mean that's essentially what it is. So Sentry's an interesting character. I would say if you have like Marvel Unlimited, go back and read the original run. I did see it was 2000 when he was introduced. So go back and read the original introduction of the character. Because from what I know, if Robert, who is or Bob, according to Thunderbolts, doesn't constantly resist like his inner darkness, the void will completely take over. And the void isn't like, as far as I remember, it's not something where it just automatically attacks people. If Sentry is fighting Doctor Doom and the void takes over, the void will still fight Doctor Doom. It's just, it will turn on everybody else as well.
Sure.
So
I wonder if Stephen Young regrets not being able to play this, because now his character would have gone to Avengers and would have been huge for him.
Yeah. Let's see. Lone Wolf says, back to my super chat earlier, I was basically with Chris and Harloff the whole time. How did the presentation? Even Coy was a little upset. Harloff even called Campia and was annoyed.
Yeah. Which, and I was listening, by the way. I wasn't on his show, obviously not. Right. But no, like, and I was getting a little like annoyed with it, because like they were being so negative on something that I personally thought was like a very cool experience, and I felt like, I don't know these people at all, but I was like, at least try and have a little fun with it. Like, this is a cool experience. I get people have lives. I know people like that have schedules they have to keep. I get the annoyance. I really do. But you know what this showed me though? The MCU's not dead. No.
I mean, this one event alone showed me that it's still out there. They just need to get that magic back where people think of it as this big event situation. And, all right, let's move on here. Joseph Quinn, Human Torch. Not going to say much about that. All right, so here's the one that people thought was kind of spoilery, because we thought that maybe David Harbour's character was going to get killed off. Did this annoy you to see this, or like, were you upset about this, or?
Not annoyed, but this is, I think, the biggest. This and Sentry, I think, are the biggest like Thunderbolt spoilers, and I guess obviously Taskmaster as well.
Well, let me say this though: I don't think there was never any question that Sentry was going to survive. I thought for sure he was going to survive the movie. Yeah, but I get it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But I think it reveals that like they're on the same team, or they're kind of working together and stuff like that. David Harbour was my biggest like death prediction. Like outside of Taskmaster, I was like, David Harbour could be your like emotional pull. Like, you go through the whole movie and them really bonding and getting to know each other, and then he has to die. That being said, I still think he might die in one of these movies.
Darth Zen, I think we're going to see a lot of like, from what we saw in the trailer, what we're going to see that's going to be so traumatic is civilian casualties. I think when the Void takes over Sentry, we're going to see just regular people being killed. and I think it's going to be quite traumatic for our characters. So we might not lose our heroes, but I think we're going to have a lot of civilian casualties. So, all right. I like David Harbour in this role. I think it's fine. Yeah. So yeah, we'll get there. Oh, here we go. M'Baku in the house with Winston Duke. Good to see him coming back. I think this is pretty cool. Yeah. M'Baku is one of my favorite characters from the Black Panther movies.
Yeah.
So even though he did get his ass kicked by Namor, still one of my favorites. Oh, Paigey has arrived. If he's there. It says IML. It says IML. Yeah. He always tries to give me L's whenever I'm not taking L's. But
what's with your voice? You swallow razor blades?
No, I've been sick. That's why I haven't been doing much
excuses.
last week. So.
All I've heard lately.
So,
excuses.
Throat goat stuff, maybe? I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, so. Jesus Christ.
I don't know. Anyway, are you staying or are you just coming to say hi?
What kind of question is that?
I mean, you've been busy lately. I don't know.
Oh, I'm here. I'm not queer, but I'm here.
I mean, you could be. We don't know. We don't have any.
What, here or queer? Or both?
We don't know. You could be anywhere.
If I'm here, technically, I would be queer based off the old saying, but I'm trying to defy expectations here.
Oh, okay. So you've missed a lot of the people we've talked. Did you see these castings yet? Because you might have already seen them.
Yeah, can I just say something like, I thought it was,
Go ahead, say it. We pretty much criticized everything right now.
I thought it was funny that there was a big criticism about the chairs thing. And I think, yes, it was really, shit. If that makes sense. It seems like it was a massive, waste of time. But then again, people sat down and watched it. I think it averaged, 150, 200. Well, that was just on YouTube. I think it was 150,000 people watching on YouTube, let alone...
Yeah.
X or Twitter, and then I don't know if it was on Instagram.
It was, yeah. It was the most streamed live stream ever.
What on just all together, or
I think it's all together. Yeah, it's the most streamed ever. Yeah.
So people complaining about it, but then the same people complaining about it are probably the ones that sat down and watched it.
They did. Most
I was active on Twitter when it was happening, but I was just sort of scrolling, and then people were like, "Oh, this person's been confirmed," because I wasn't going to sit there and. But I thought
that's the same thing I did.
The only thing, and it's a bit, if it's in production, maybe everyone should have been there. Everyone sat down in their chairs, and it's such a little thing because it probably doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But and then also is Ian McKellen really there? Is he just going to show up in this? And see because he wouldn't be filming his stuff at the moment. So yeah, I mean, people complain about it, and then they're saying this is what Marvel's getting to. I'm like. Bro, you sat down and watched it. You care. Marvel has you under their thumb. The only
people that I heard complaining about it were the ones that were sitting through it and complaining about it. I looked at it for about 15 minutes. And I'm like, I'm done, and I just turned it off. I was
in my head, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to sit down and watch this. This is just stupid. I didn't sit down and watch it. Just so I'm and also I didn't sit there tweeting about it. I was just like,
exactly. I didn't either. I didn't even mention anything about it. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
It built hype though. They were trending. There's 50 plus individual trends from this one live stream, and they had everybody's attention that was focused on it for 5 hours. So I will say this: I don't know if the same thing would have happened for a DCU stream.
No, I saw someone. I saw the most funny thing. I'm like, get your head out of your ass. Someone was like,
I know where you're going with this.
James Gunn should post a first look at Supergirl. I'm like,
exactly.
It would literally get buried. I think, honestly, Wyatt Russell being in Doomsday, people making fun of that being a chair reveal, that tweet probably gets more likes than whatever they're doing with more attention than Superman.
I mean, the thing is, we need to see Superman first before we get hyped about anything else in the DCU. That's just the reality of it. So, unless they were going to release an Ezra Miller Flash Part 2.
I don't know how I managed it. You know how normally you would cut the bottom of your foot?
Oh, no.
I've cut the top of my foot and it does not heal. It just keeps getting... And at night, I must rub it with my other foot. And I just keep cutting open the wound. It's disgusting.
A Band-Aid on top of it. Why are you?
Yeah, I don't like to because I go down to the beach and I walk it through the salt water to sort of heal it. And also I have hair on my foot, so I don't like.
Well, shave the hair and put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah, but I told you, like, I'm here, but I'm not queer. I don't want to go down. You know, I'm one Eric. I'm not doing both.
Okay.
So I'm either going to be here or I'll leave and I'll be queer.
Well,
So
You can-
you're going to have to make that choice up.
you can
or are
be
you going to
both.
criticize me about this Band-Aid
No.
situation?
all right, here we go. Ghost is going to be in the movie. So,
So surprising, to be honest.
well, this tells me that she's probably fully, like, she's not completely off her rocker anymore. She's probably not suffering the effects of, like, the phasing.
Do people, hold on,
stuff
do
or
people not have hair on their feet?
I do.
Yeah, you surely have hair on your feet. I'm not saying it's literally like a
But
weird-
I mean, they're saying you might be a hobbit. I would say that might be true.
Well, I do walk around barefoot a lot. I cut my foot like, I know how to describe it, but I was sort of like, I was walking barefoot, but I was on the sand. Anyway, but there was a stick poking out, and I sort of like dragged my foot and it just like cut through the top of my flesh.
You would be the worst on Survivor. Like, you would totally not be
I'm
able
just
to
getting
compete
in,
in this,
I don't know. It's either I'd either win it easily or be the first one out because of like some staph
Probably.
infection or something like that.
Yeah.
I get cut and then go,
Mm.
fish guts or something. Like that's a healing method.
We're gonna say about Ghost, Darren.
Yeah, look, everyone's backing up the hair on the feet. Do you have hair on your feet, Darren?
Not much, no.
I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not saying I like it's not like it's like a new head of hair or something
A
down
couple,
there. But
yeah, a couple little things. Yeah.
yeah, you got hair.
Don't indulge him.
No, I'm trying to build up to a foot reveal, and then
Yeah.
Eric gets foot fetish stream.
Use
Like,
OnlyFans
fans.
for that. Use OnlyFans.
Oh, what was the thing I saw the other day?
I don't know, but I don't care. It's going dirty. It's going to be something dirty. I know that's the direction you're heading. I already feel it. Naked and Afraid. See, look, now you got him talking about something that's going to definitely get us, like, demonetized.
Yeah, but don't they blur everything out in that show?
Do they? I don't think I've ever watched a
I
full
think they
episode
do,
of it.
don't they? Or do you see everything?
I mean, it's on cable TV.
Oh, so maybe you do see everything.
Anyway. Darren, what were you going to say about Ghost?
No, like it just kind of hit me that like you're going to have that Ant-Man and Ghost kind of like reintroduction.
Oh, that's right.
Like a
Yeah.
fight or like an interaction in this movie.
There's a lot of just in this one half of like a reveal, there's a lot of unique interactions. Shuri and Namor, Ghost and Ant-Man, Sam Cap and John. So yeah, Jay Bird. It will now be a dedicated men's feet stream. No, that's not what it's gonna be. Not at all.
Rank these feet.
Yeah, right. We're coming up on the hour mark, and we are 3 out of 10 on Super Chats. Remember, if you guys want to donate, it is a teal Super Chat. Check out the stuff in the poll.
What?
And see if there's any.
Oh, that's
there
right.
for you.
HBO Max launches on Monday here.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, the deal ran out with the previous thing, so now HBO Max can officially launch in Australia. I think it's on the last day White Lotus is out, and like that was the only thing that I think the previous one could, the previous Binge it's called, the previous streaming service. So now they're losing all their HBO content. No one's going to be subscribed to Binge.
Oh,
It's
yeah, I
not
didn't
that
think about
expensive
that.
anyway, but
Yeah. I just
they'll
thought
have to
about
drop
that.
the price a bit.
That's funny. Alicia Adams here, a channel member. Thank you so much. I'm concerned about all these cast announcements. It feels too much. I worry it's relying on fan service nostalgia, and there won't be much substance to it. That is a legitimate
Sure.
concern. Once we get through all of the casting, I'm going to talk about this specifically because I
Yes.
do have some stuff I want to say, but I want to get through all the casting first. Lance has arrived.
That's right. I watched Grease the other night. That's what I was going to mention. Yeah.
I just want to say this since I
Hold
just
on.
come to
No, before you say
Oh, no.
anything, what the fuck are you wearing? That's the. Hold on.
I didn't know you had arms.
were you just in the 50 when you was 50 Cent music video? What is going on with the wife beater? What's going on?
just took off my t-shirt.
Oh, so you wanted to show the guns on straight? That's what it was. Okay. So, that's what it was. Okay. I was just trying to figure out what your game plan was there, Lance.
I honestly forgot I had this on. I thought I was getting on the stream naked.
That is true. It is very Bo DeMayo of you.
Oh,
Eric, did you see that though?
I have it bookmarked. I was going to talk about it.
What was there
tonight.
another? Oh,
Hold on. I'll show. Hold on. We'll talk about it now. Let me find it. quickly.
It
I
kind of
missed this.
it reminds me of what Eric thinks about these castings.
You haven't even been here to hear what I had to say.
Oh, I have like a sixth sense when it comes to these things, especially when you put criticisms in the
Yeah. So this is what Bo DeMeo put.
profile picture.
Right.
Is hilarious.
It's funny. It's so funny. So X3's Beast, Falcon. He doesn't even call him Captain America.
That's kind of racist.
Falcon's sidekick, Shang-Chi, Thunderbolts, ? These are not iconic characters that Marvel has invested time in building audience affinity with. This is the same mistake they made with the Eternals. X-Men 3's Beast is not iconic? Kelsey Grammer's Beast?
He's a textbook narcissist, and he's butthurt that they fired him. But
Thunderbolts has several iconic early phase characters in it.
Bucky. He's
Right.
not iconic. I guess he's not iconic.
And Falcon, aka the current Captain America, is another character Sam is an iconic character. Like he just is. Now you could argue that Falcon's sidekick, the new Falcon, is maybe not iconic. Shang-Chi should have had a second movie. Maybe that's an argument to be made. But this is just a dumb take. It's a huge movie. These aren't the only characters in the film. He's leaving out. We haven't even gotten to like the really big announcements in the cast list yet. So he's on here like playing cherry picking shit just to start an argument.
You should have seen the comments. They were hilarious.
I can't, you know me on Twitter. I can't show them because some of them are.
Especially a Bo DeMeo comment section.
It was
probably like
they were hilarious. Like nobody's entertaining him. It's like you're trying to get attention, and
also
you say butthurt.
Yeah, and as I think Eric said, like it's cherry picking, like what, not including Magneto or Professor X,
Right,
or,
exactly.
Right.
Cyclops. Or...
I actually had an interaction with him. I called him out on another tweet that he made, and he edited the tweet after I called him out on it.
Wow.
Because he was saying something, I don't even remember what it was about, but I was just like, why are you saying dumb shit like this? He's like, oh yeah, I guess it sounds more like Emma Frost, so I'm going to put Emma in the voice of Emma Frost in my tweet. I was like, how does that make it any better? Like, it's still... The
Eternals argument is so freaking dumb too, because what, does he never want you to introduce new characters again? Like, that was an origin.
But you know what else makes it dumb? The movie isn't a bad movie. Like, it's not a bad film. He's arguing that people didn't go see a good movie. So, like, oh, they didn't go and see a movie that was actually a decent film? That's your argument? That's your take on it? Like, come on, give me a break. Give me a fucking break. All right, anyway, here we go. Next up, we have Loki. So my question is, are we getting OG Loki or like the Loki from the Loki TV series?
It's the god of stories.
Yeah.
Is it for sure?
I mean, we don't know, but I would assume.
I would assume, yeah.
Because that character is extremely powerful. So
I
would say more powerful than Doctor Doom, honestly.
I think that's the point, though. And I don't think you're going to like this, but I think he's the MacGuffin of the story.
So you think he's gonna either get captured and they're gonna make him rewrite the worlds? Is that what you think?
I could see it being like a race movie. Like Doctor Doom is going after him to kill him to like destroy the multiverse, and it's having to be our team of characters having to get there first and do all this stuff.
I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize that the TVA connects to all of those worlds. We saw that in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So all of the Fox X-Men movies are technically still connected to the TVA. So this Loki is the same Loki. Well, the Loki in the TVA is the same Loki for everybody. It's the same one.
Do you think as well, but I know you haven't gotten to the end of this lineup.
It's okay. I mean, most people already know the full casting.
Remember all that concept art came out and had characters in there that aren't a part of this? Does that confirm that concept art is for Secret Wars? And
probably.
Not for Doomsday?
I think it's probably for Secret Wars.
They've said that that's all like not happening now. That it's stuff that the Russo brothers aren't using. But
I don't know. That's we won't know for another 2 or 3 years.
Well, that design for Doom was fucking goated, but we'll see. I have an opinion about the whole Doom thing that I'll talk about when we get there. But
I do think that was interesting though, because like almost all of that concept art were characters we don't have here, right?
Yeah.
It was a lot of She-Hulk. It was a lot of Young Avengers. It was Star-Lord.
Yeah. All right, here's one of the big ones. Patrick Stewart as Professor X.
Die for the 4th time.
Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but my theory is this is going to be the X-Men from the world that Monica went to. It's going to be a completely separate set of X-Men.
Which is going to confirm that Monica's going to show up.
Yeah, 100%. I don't like. Even Darren was like, "What? She's just not going to be there. All these X-Men are going to be there, and she's not." I don't think so.
No.
I actually think she's. So my theory is, she is going to be a member of the X-Men. She's going to join the X-Men on that world because she doesn't have anybody else. Like, she's going to be a part of their team, most likely.
That'd be that would be dope, especially she be right next to her doppelganger mom.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's really smart.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, Lance.
No, I had a question for Eric, but I think you're gonna like touch on it with what they said about how Doom correlates with Tony Stark and how Stark's death plays a major part.
Do you mean the quote from like the article from like last week sometime?
Yeah, how his death correlates with this.
I think we looked into the article and it didn't actually say that. Wasn't that right? We looked into it and that quote wasn't there. I think that was.
I don't.
You're talking about Heroic Hollywood's tweet, right? Is that the one you're talking about?
No.
Okay, so which one are you talking about?
And it's going everywhere. The Russo said that Tony Stark's death correlates with why Doom looks like Tony.
I remember that quote, but I think we were on live stream and I actually went to the article, and that quote is not actually in that article. If that's what you're talking about.
Are you talking about the quote from the Beau DeMayo tweet?
No. It was the one from I think it was Variety or Hollywood Reporter did an article, is where it came from. I didn't see it, but if you can find it, like if you can find that quote and find the actual link to where it came from, we can look at it.
Almost typed in Tony Stank.
Tony Stank. I love Patrick Stewart in this role, but he is getting so old.
Why are we not getting James McAvoy? And
exactly. That's what he might be in the next set of announcements, though. He might be in the next set.
Yeah,
because I don't think
they're in Secret Wars, and these two are in.
I have a good theory as to why. It's because
define good.
I couldn't think of dude's name. It's because Kevin Feige worked with these X-Men. So of course he'd bring them in. He worked with them. We're not gonna get. He's in. I'm having brain farts.
Wait, which character? Just name the character.
We're not gonna get Beast from McAvoy films.
Yeah.
We're not gonna get that Beast back. We're not gonna get, but we're also not gonna get Rogue back from Patrick Stewart's films because that Anna Paquin is, sick at the moment. We're not gonna get her back.
Right.
So I think it's a like.
Okay. So my theory. Let's go ahead. I think Ian McKellen's right after Patrick Stewart, right? Yeah. So I think what we're going to see is this is going to be like it was with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. This is going to be them officially going away.
Yes.
Like, I think we're going to see them sacrifice themselves, probably.
Oh, wow.
Like a first line of defense for some of this.
I actually disagree with that.
Okay, so what do you think's going to happen?
I don't think they would kill him a fourth time. I don't think that they would do
Professor
that.
X?
Yeah, I don't think that they would do that. I think that they just I talked about this on
go ahead. You can explain it, yeah.
I think this movie, Doomsday is about really establishing this team to the world, reintroducing them. And I think Secret Wars is going to be Hugh Jackman having them, like seeing them and finding his family again. And maybe they lost to Logan. And I think this team just kind of goes off in the sunset. Like, go off.
Maybe, but I don't think these characters are carrying over into Secret Wars.
Oh, you think so?
No.
Do you want my theory? And
well, can I finish mine first before you say yours?
Sorry. Well, I didn't see your. I've got a theory.
I said, well, they're not going to make it, and I was going to follow that up with my theory.
Okay,
I think we will see the introduction of the new X-Men in Secret Wars. I think that whoever the new cast is going to be will be the X-Men in Secret Wars, because if they're going to be on Battle World, they're going to have like a pocket world or a portion of that world that is like the mutant world, and those X-Men will be the X-Men that come into the main continuity. That's what I think.
Do you want my theory?
Yes, now you can have your theory.
Thank you for allowing my speaking, DJ Erickson. You might like this, Eric, or you might hate it, but I think it's a pretty good theory, and I have a feeling it's exactly what they're going to do. and it's no nudity. Don't worry. Well, actually, I don't know. There might be. I'm not too sure. I can't make any promises. Don't get too down, Lance.
Well,
It could be. Still could be.
I thought you were gonna be naked already. So
oh my god.
Well, you're doing the reverse. What? I didn't realize you put a shirt on. When did that happen? But anyway, do you think they're just going to do the Illuminati, but and they'll have Magneto as a quote unquote hero, while Professor X is on the Illuminati and a quote unquote villain?
I mean, they could still do that. They could still do it. I mean,
but do you think that's why they're going to use these two, and it's almost going to be this flip where you're having this villainous Professor?
The fact that Namor and Mr. Fantastic are in this make me think the Illuminati is a possibility. However,
do you think that's where they even have like maybe Thor is a part of the Illuminati? Like,
I mean, maybe, but the thing about it is, if this movie is going to do what Secret Wars did, if they're going to copy any of that from 2015, they have to introduce an incursion that merges the world together before the next film, which I think is what Doomsday. It's like a double meaning.
I think
it's Doctor Doom and it's the end of the
incursion.
world.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think this movie is a huge incursion.
So we're going to get the incursion from the Fantastic Four Earth. We're going to get the incursion from Monica's X-Men Earth. We're going to get the incursion from the Marvel universe. They're all good because in the comics it's primarily 2 planets, because you have the Maker and then you have all the Ultimates and the ones on the main continuity. I think what's going to happen in this one is there's going to be 3 of them.
Eric, you're picking my brain, dog.
Did you just say hot dog?
Yes. You're picking my brain, bro, because Galactus is going to end up, snacking down on Fantastic Four's planet, right?
Yes.
He's going to end up, just snacking down, eating it. I'm not going to say the other half of that. Just eating it up.
Eating it out?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll be eating it up. Sorry. Eating it up. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
No, I'm going to be eating it up.
Christ.
Right? In that moment, that's when, if this Doom is indeed from their planet, this is when he's going to reach out and, try to get somewhere else. That causes an incursion from the X-Men's world, wherever they're at. That causes that incursion. Yeah. Those worlds collide together, and somehow 616 gets pulled into that.
Mm.
And then that's when Sam is like, why is there a guy flying with wings on his feet with no shirt on?
Can we just confirm that Lance is just yapping at this point? Was that in English, or was that just? I just need to ask.
It's Ebonics. I don't think they have that in Australia.
Ebonics. Oh, isn't that like a type of like a roofie? Or is that like?
No, it's not.
Okay.
They could also be setting up X-Men versus Avengers, which is another story they could do.
I don't want them to do that in this, because you still have more than one team, so it would be X-Men versus Avengers.
Look,
versus the Thunderbolts.
Yes, and let me say this: I would much rather the X-Men versus the Avengers be the next big Avengers movie.
I agree. Yeah,
that's what I would prefer.
Scrap Secret Wars, just like they did Kang Dynasty.
No, I mean after Secret Wars. Like, I would rather see an X-Men versus Avengers movie happen when they're all on the same planet and there's a reason for them to be facing off against each other. I think in this scenario, what little we know of it, it doesn't make a lot of sense for this to be X-Men versus Avengers between Doomsday into Secret Wars.
I think you guys are kind of like on the right track, though. Like, I honestly think Doomsday is going to be a story of 2 worlds. I do. I think Fantastic Four ends, like Lance was saying, he gets eaten, and like they use their thing to like get to another Earth, and the audience is going to think, and I think they know this. They're like, oh, they've traveled to like the 616 timelines, blah 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 blah, and that will be the X-Men world.
Spoiler alert! Also, Galactus is basically a bitch for Doom in Battle World in Secret Wars. So he's kind of like works for Doom, just like Doctor Strange does. So in that scenario, it makes sense.
So it's like 3Dub on streams with you and Lance.
In what way?
You are a horrible person. But I will say, I think Fantastic Four is gonna pull in.
Hey, Lance! Everyone saw you laugh. The camera's on.
I didn't laugh. I think Fantastic Four is gonna pull an Invincible when it comes to the end shot. You know how in Invincible in the finale, when Conquest was holding Mark's head and basically giving the world Mark's head, and they showed the boy getting his arm ripped off. we're gonna see the little kid that was holding the holding the thing sign at the beginning. She's gonna be sitting there watching the world getting eaten by Galactus, and it's gonna be real dark.
Wait, they changed. When did they change StreamYard?
A couple weeks ago.
A couple months,
Okay.
like a month ago.
Well, what is it that changed that you're asking about?
Oh, it's giving me like an X-ray feature or something like that.
Here you go.
What?
The present feature, you mean?
No, I can just like where you can. Is it gonna work? Oh yeah,
I mean, I see it.
photo
Yeah,
there.
I see it.
What's
What
the
am I?
X-ray feature?
Oh no, it was just the most random photo out of my computer. Like when I clicked open.
Gotcha.
I knew you
Is
loved
this the
Gotham
edited one?
Knights, but
All right.
seriously though, another thing that I can see was why they chose these X-Men is because technically James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender are still technically the young versions, and unless they're gonna
Actually,
be
they're more in
time-
line with the ages of the characters in the comics now than Patrick Stewart.
I
and
mean,
Ian
yeah,
McKellen are.
but in the context of the timeline, unless you're going to be time traveling to grab them, that would be
In the
weird
context of D's nuts, it doesn't matter too much.
I actually think it's more about nostalgia for Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen.
Sure.
That's what I think it is.
But I
to
think
be
we get
honest.
both. I would not be
Yes.
shocked if they meet.
Also,
each other.
it might be cost as well. Those two might cost less than.
This one was another big one. So Alan Cumming is Nightcrawler.
Who edited this outfit? Because it's quite.
Also,
terrible.
did you see how like the biggest thing that came from this announcement is that his last name? Like everyone they couldn't write.
Did people forget that was his name?
No, on
Yes.
TikTok you can't write Cumming.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So you couldn't look up his name on TikTok, and then and people wrote it in that they'd go see asterisk.
If I were an actor and this were my last name, I would have changed it.
Well, unless you're an adult actor, then probably
And then
Perfect. Yeah.
Right, then it'd be perfect. Yeah.
We're getting old ass Nightcrawler. That's hilarious.
If you were an adult actor, you would change your middle name to I'm.
Nightcrawler's not a bad star name either, to be honest.
No,
Well,
look,
then
Or if you could, or you just say
Nightcrawler's-
or you could be like that, like maybe one of your parents is Asian, like Chinese, and just your first name is Wei.
no,
Why not?
because that does not sound at all.
Or
right.
who?
I disavow all of that. So
Why?
because it is basically racist. So we're just going to disavow
What's
that
the name?
completely because it doesn't even make sense. So we're
What do you
disavow.
mean? It's like if there's a guy.
We're not going that way. Okay, we're moving on. We're
Why?
moving on because I don't want to get in this argument with you. So
It's a
Nightcrawler.
conversation.
It's not a conversation. You're doing
the
it
one
to try
getting
and
aggressive.
you want to get people fighting in the comments. I'm not going to do it. I'm not
just
going to
asserting my point, Eric. You're the one getting
No.
aggressive.
No.
What do you mean no?
Okay, so Alan Cumming being Nightcrawler. Do you think they're going to change the way he looks? They're going to update it.
I hope not.
I mean,
they
what
are.
do you
They're
mean?
They're gonna make him look like he does in the comic books all the time. His face is gonna be like a weird shadowy thing.
Wait. You mean like
Why?
He's not gonna look like this. The same way Beast is more, CGI'd.
Oh, you mean like from the
Nightcrawler.
end of the Marvels? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes, he's gonna look
but isn't
more
that more-
aligned.
But people hated that.
He's gonna
though.
look.
And that was also because
But
Kelsey
still.
Grammer is like 70 years old, and putting him in a hot suit like he was in X-Men 3 would be borderline silly. And with this, it's just they'd put him in something like this, and then all they have to do is paint his hands and his face.
Look, Quinlan's calling you out, Lance.
I like messing with Gwendolyn. But seriously though, they're gonna make him look darker in the face like he does in the comics in X-Men 97. I can see it now. They're not gonna do all the weird face tattoos.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because everybody knows that Disney is gonna Disney-ify these characters.
But they shouldn't.
But they are. They already have.
But why, Lance?
And that's not a bad thing because we're gonna see them in the suits.
The
He's
only
gonna have the sword in his tail. I guarantee
right,
you.
exactly. No, you're right. So I would love to see them in some version of their suit from the comic books. And since they're going to come, excuse me, from another world, we've already seen. What were you laughing about?
You coughed and paused like the worst point after talking.
Since they're going to be coming from the world that Monica is on, which looks to be like a X-Men 97 live action world, the suits can be like literally the comic book suits.
It's gonna be the red and his suit's red and black, right? Or is it red and blue?
Red and black with white gloves and white boots.
He's gonna be wearing that, and it's gonna be, and he's not gonna have pupils. His eyes are gonna be the glowing yellow. That's gonna be it. It's not gonna be pupils.
But I don't understand what the complaint is. That's the comic book character.
No, I'm saying I'm not complaining. I'm saying that's what it's gonna be.
Sounds like you're complaining.
People are gonna expect him to come back looking like the image.
This one?
People are going to expect him to come back looking like he did in X2.
I really hope he doesn't look like this. This suit is awful. Like, he was the best thing about the intro of that movie, but I don't want to see him dressed like this.
Wait, I'm not tweaking. Like, this is an altered colored jacket, right? Or
yeah, it's been altered for the picture. Yeah.
Okay. See, I thought I was tripping. I'm colorblind.
I mean, change his suit, but like, I would like the face and like the skin to look relatively the same. Like, I don't want CGI Nightcrawler. Is all I'm saying.
It's not going to be. I think they're just gonna do like the shadowy face because Nightcrawler's face isn't skin; it's fur.
Right.
Fair enough.
I mean, technically,
doesn't Disney have like an issue with like furries or something like that? Don't they like that? They don't do the.
I mean, they put fur on Beast's face in the Marvels.
Did they?
Yeah, go back and look at it.
Yeah, I didn't watch that shit.
Yeah, it's all CGI.
Hold on, let me see. Hold on.
Did they? But yeah, but it was CGI, wasn't it? It
Here,
was
I can pull it up, Eric. I have it on my computer.
Lance getting rage baited right now.
Yeah, see, that's the way it looked. It's like basically the cartoon, but in live action. Yeah, even like on his skin and everything.
Why does this sort of look like
you?
No, who's that? Isn't there like a? He has the face of someone.
Kelsey Grammer.
No, because it's not him.
It is. That is the voice.
No, but it's not him.
It is him. Who else would it be?
I'm him.
What?
But that's not Kelsey Grammer. Like, he did the voice and stuff. No, who does it look like?
I guarantee you Kelsey Grammer was actually on set in a mocap suit.
Wait, did you see the scrambled eggs tossed salad egg? Tossed salad egg thing?
No,
two-parter?
And I don't want to.
No, the Frasier thing.
Yeah, I haven't. Oh, the one you sent me? No, I haven't seen that. I mean, I looked at what you sent me, but I didn't watch any further than that. I just looked at it.
Did you see his Alan Cummings video?
It's not Cummings. It's coming.
Did you see Alan Cumming? No, you gotta make it. You have to make it.
Wait, hold on.
He made a video.
Pause. I didn't see Alan doing anything except being on the Traitors TV show.
Alan did you? He posted a video where he was doing like
that. Made it sound worse. That made it sound like you were legitimately saying something.
It said he was coming back.
Yeah. What about it?
I'm saying he did a fun video and said something about it all comes full circle or something.
It doesn't come full circle.
You're not helping yourself here. This is getting worse and worse by not just the sentence, by each and every word.
I didn't even realize I said it again. I didn't realize I said it again. No. Okay, can we get off?
Hold on. Yes,
let's move on to the next picture.
Yeah. Eric's YouTube manager. Okay. Oh, it's all. Okay. For next 4 stream. Okay. So the streams are demonetized for the next 4 weeks, Eric. After Lance's just, I don't even know what I'd call that.
I mean, it's not the first time he's done something like that on the stream. So
I didn't do it the last time.
Well, you know,
that was all Pagey.
Well,
it probably was, but I can't remember.
The two of you together is like instant demonetization on the stream.
Yeah, but at least I didn't do the John Bobbitt thing. That was Lance.
We're not going back there.
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, we're not going back to that. So we have Rebecca. Like, she doesn't have the hyphenated name anymore. Rebecca Romaine Salad.
I did not know that's how you spelled it. When I was trying to look up, I kept spelling Romain.
Yeah, isn't she married to Jerry O'Connell? What
No,
about you?
wasn't
She's-
I have no idea.
Wasn't she married to John Stamos?
She was, yes.
Do we think she's gonna be naked?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Okay, so I think we're just picture X-Men 97, those characters in live action. I think
I
that's
think
what
So
we're
she'll
gonna
wear
see.
the white suit and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the question though: will she be a X-Men or will she just be in that world with them?
I think it's possible she's pretending to be someone else and it's gonna get revealed. Like she might be infiltrating the X-Men and then they find out she's on the team.
I heard
Maybe-
she's not gonna be blue because Trump wants to get rid of DEI.
Now, I have a theory now that just hit me. What if she's pretending to be Monica's mom?
Oh.
That's racist because she's turning blue to black.
She can get away with it, I feel.
Maybe. Yeah, I have a feeling she's going to be a stand-in for another character that is no longer on the team, that she's there pretending to be somebody else. So,
Oh, what if Storm sees Shuri and like sister-in-law, and then like she says, "Yeah, I'm married to T'Challa on my Earth," but that Shuri looks the same as her Shuri.
well, I don't know what Storm you're talking about because we haven't seen a casting.
I was
They're
gonna
gonna
say,
announce. They're gonna announce Halle Berry. I saw somebody say we need to right a wrong and get Angela Bassett in here, but I'm like, what wrong is there to right? She turned the role down. I don't know what news you got, but
That
she
was
turned
sick,
it down.
though.
All those
And she
years
also
ago.
killed it in Wakanda Forever. So.
Exactly talking about right
How-
or wrong. You can't right a wrong that she did herself. That's not a wrong. She just didn't want to play the role.
That would be cool though, because she would be perfect. That would be.
I think she'll be
amazing
great in that
casting.
role. Yeah, I think she'll be great. But how weird would it be that Storm gets married to T'Challa and that was his mother in the
Oh,
main
yeah.
continuity?
You're right.
So we can't really do that. Look, Quinlan said I was just thinking that. Yeah, that's as soon as y'all started talking about it, the first thing I thought about was like, yeah. James,
hold on to hope. Hold on to hope.
Mars-
Gwendolyn.
Let's go.
This visor image is actually quite terrible, and I think.
okay, so
woman.
look. Before we even go any further, this is why I'm glad they're changing all the costumes. I know they're going to change them because these were the assiest of ass costumes we've ever had.
Can
Were
you
these
say the first word
fucking
again?
Assiest of ass costumes. Like, it's just bad. All of them are bad. And then they gooned us or edged us. Or wait, hold on. They pretended to give us the good costumes at the end of the movies, and they never
right?
fucking gave them to us.
Yeah.
Surely didn't. I will never forgive them for what they did at the end of Apocalypse. That was the movie, right?
Last
Yes.
Stand.
Apocalypse.
Last
Last
Stand, no,
Stand.
Last Stand.
That wasn't Last Stand. I'm
No,
talking
he's
about.
talking about the one where they gave him the really good costumes, and then they went to Dark Phoenix and looked like ass.
Is
That's
that
what
you're
Lance-
talking about?
That was Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the second set of films.
I'm talking about the second set. That's when they.
Yeah, that was
really good
Apocalypse then, yes.
costume.
My bad.
Yeah, the Last Stand was the one where they teased us with the OG X-Men.
They did. I
Yes.
don't remember. I don't remember that shit. I'm sorry. I can't stand Last Stand for some reason. It's just trash. I don't remember them getting real suits at the end of that. Maybe
Well,
I just didn't watch it all the way through.
Because they never do anything with them. They tease them. Like when they had the Wolverine suit in the briefcase and nothing ever happened with that either. They just teased them. They never gave it to us. And there was no reason not to because superhero movies were already using colorful suits at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe in their first movie there was an excuse, but beyond that there wasn't.
This is why I don't want Hugh Jackman in Doomsday. Because I want
I
him
do.
to be able to thrive on his own. And I think they're going to try and fix that wrong of like, oh, you didn't like those movies because it was always Hugh Jackman? Okay, here's an X-Men lineup without him. And let James Marsden... I think he might be one of the leads of this movie, actually.
You think so?
I think it'll be Reed and Sue, Sam and Bucky, James Marsden, and maybe Patrick Stewart, maybe, but we'll see.
I can't wait to hear him say to me, my X-Men.
Yeah,
And I can't wait to hear
Yellow
Sam.
suits.
I can't wait to hear Sam say, "Yo, fall in on me, Avengers." My Nick. No, he ain't gonna say.
Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Hey, Bruzy, what's up? This one made me flip my
hold
fucking
on.
chair. So
Why would they reference Nickelodeon on a Disney project? Like, why would they? That doesn't make any sense, Liam. That would be Paramount.
Oh my god. All right.
Am I
I'll
the
be
only
back.
one that's confused? Like, why would he? I don't get that.
The fact that nobody's gonna be able to understand anything he says in this movie is gonna be comedy gold.
I don't
Well-
think he's gonna still sound like that.
All right,
think
I do.
My cat is at the door. I got to take care of that. I'll be right back in
Okay.
1 second.
That's the
I don't
first time I've
think-
heard that phrase in my entire
So
life.
welcome to Party Nation.
I don't think so.
Pipeline.
Welcome
uh,
to How to Goon with your Lance instructor, Lance Ringgold 101, aka the guy that did the
Can you
drive-thru.
give us a Channing Tatum Gambit impression?
Woo! It's something like that, isn't it? Like, woo, boy.
I'm making a name for myself in here.
It's
I'm
like,
about, to
dude,
make, I'm about to make a name for myself.
Yeah, that's good.
I
I
hope
think
the
they might
suit
get
fits
rid of
him
the
better.
actor.
Oh, by the way,
They
I
can't.
was
It's
in-
a part of the character. You
no,
can't get rid of it.
interesting story. Yesterday I was in an Uber and there's this woman. She like was driving this like a Kia Carnival sort of thing. Like, you know, there's like, it's like a minivan sort of thing. It was sort of weird. I was like, okay, whatever. It's a weird Uber vehicle to have, like driving around like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And she was like, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I just, you know, like small talk with the Uber driver. And then she just randomly goes like, oh yeah, a couple of weeks ago I was driving Drake around. I'm like, Drake? And I'm like, I was like, who the fuck is, like, my man's Noah Drake? And I was like, oh. And she's like, oh, like this singer. Like, she really had no idea who Drake was, but she's like a private driver who does like Uber on the side and then does that during the day. And she was like showing all these photos of her and Drake in her Uber, or like her private driver thing. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, who else do you drive around? She drove around like Johnny Depp when he did Pirates of the Caribbean here, George Clooney and Julia Roberts. I'm sure Eric knows the rapper 24K Golden is his name, or 24 Golden K or something like that.
What about it?
Oh no, just this woman that was my
I didn't
Uber
hear the
driver
first part of what
yesterday.
you're saying.
Oh no, she does like private driving for like artists and like actors and stuff when they come here and they film movies and shit like that.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I said,
So-
you know, DJ Erickson the third, and she went, no, who the fuck
Oh.
is that?
Yeah,
Get
she
that
needs to-
creep
She
away
needs to
from me.
recognize and get locked in. So
Geeking out.
I hate
How was
this.
your cat?
the cat was
hate
just trying to
it.
get in the room. So I hate this whole.
Did you
this
yell
right
at the
here.
cat?
Why?
Why are we talking about my cat?
Because you left to deal with the cat. So
I had to
it
go
was the-
close the door. The cat was scratching at the wall, so I closed the door.
Oh, okay, I thought you did something else. We're just curious.
What else would I have done?
I don't know. Tell the cat to fuck off. or,
I
like,
literally
please
said my
don't let
cat's
her.
at the door. Give me a second.
Yeah, but I thought you might have talked to the cat. I don't know. I don't know what you do with a cat.
No. I don't like this in the movie. And let me
Oh,
explain
I thought you were
why.
talking about like Lance.
No. I don't like this in the movie
He
because
loved me.
this character was a joke character in a movie where the tone was supposed to be that way.
Which is why I don't think he'll be that joke character now.
So what do you think?
I think they're going to reimagine him, right? Like you end the movie. He's a character that didn't have a home because he never existed, right?
Right.
So once they take him back, they find him a home. They put him somewhere he probably lived a normal life. This is him being placed there. That's what I think.
Two problems with this. Number one is it's unnecessary. I don't know why he would be in the movie because there's no Rogue. And those two characters have the most.
We don't know if there's a role.
But if Rogue doesn't get announced, if she's not a character that's announced, I don't know what purpose he serves without Deadpool and Wolverine being in the movie. So is Deadpool and Wolverine going to be announced in the next lineup?
What if he's just an X-Men? He's just an X-Men from
yeah.
this lineup of X-Men.
That still to me doesn't. He has no actual connection to those characters.
But I think they're all new characters, though.
But if they're doing like an X-Men 97 thing, Rogue would be a part of the team, and then
Yeah, but
he would
I
serve a
think
purpose.
also they're not going to announce everyone. I think they're going to.
I actually
thing.
think they're going to announce all of the major characters in the next line.
Yeah, but Rogue might not be a major thing, so she might be in
Especially
the
if
movie.
it's going to
not
have to be a
major one.
recast. They're going to have to recast
Well,
Rogue.
so what's wrong with her?
And she can barely walk. She's on a cane.
Really?
Yeah, she's been
When
sick
did
for
that
a
happen?
while.
like a few years now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't noticed her not in anything. She hasn't been in any movies or TV shows or anything like that.
Well, I'd be lying. I don't really keep up to date with like personal stuff like
Well,
that.
no, but I mean, you haven't noticed that she's not around. So
Well, no. Well, now that you mention it, I might have to look it up. I don't know. Did you know?
yeah, I heard
It's,
about it. I mean,
it's,
like a couple years ago.
She's been experiencing mobility and speech difficulties due to an undisclosed health condition. She was on a red carpet on a cane. It started circulating around like 2024. Well, last year it started circulating.
Yeah, there was rumors of it before that, but it was like a couple years, like I guess 2024. Yeah, a couple years back. It was when they announced it or when they talked about it, like officially.
Can I go back for like just a second though?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I almost feel like it's a disservice to say that like you can't do Gambit without Rogue, because
Right.
I think he can stand on his own, like especially if you are kind of redesigning what this X-Men looks like, and maybe you can even do a thing where like maybe some of them are dead, right? Like maybe Rogue died, maybe Storm died, maybe Jean died. That's why they're not among this lineup announced.
Right. Maybe.
Or they just haven't announced them yet. I don't know, but
So let me explain the reason why I'm saying that. I'm saying it because
Oh, she has MS.
Oh, okay.
I was
Well,
going to
that's
say,
fine.
like,
Yeah.
that sounds like MS. It's like what that Selma Blair and what's her name?
So here's the issue I have with this. I don't mind to reimagine a character. Like for example, all of these X-Men will probably be slightly reimagined from the ones that we knew in the Fox universe anyway.
yes.
But this is a character that our only knowledge of him is in maybe 10 minutes of Deadpool and Wolverine, and
Sure.
he has no actual backstory. So he was funny in this role,
Yeah.
in that movie specifically, because that's what the character called for. I don't know if Channing Tatum can play another version of Gambit at the level that I necessarily want to see.
Sure.
Because Gambit in X-Men 97 isn't a joke character, and the voice actor, does a great job of bringing that to the table.
Yeah.
I also think that part of Gambit's story, and I'm not saying that she has to be there, but one of the dynamic things about his story in the X-Men is his relationship with Rogue.
Sure.
And her not being there, if he is going to carry on in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, her not being there with him in this pre-existing universe feels like an extremely big missed opportunity for bringing these X-Men over into this shared bubble. So I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying that it feels like you're missing elements of things that, because part of what makes Gambit relatable in the X-Men over time is his relationship with Rogue.
Sure.
Which means you would have to come up with another reason why he's not just some hot-headed, crazy person. That's my only thing.
Well, I have a counter argument to that, and it's just what Gwendolyn brought up. When you had Taylor Kitsch, however you pronounce his last name, didn't have a rogue.
Right.
Was a wonderful interpretation of the character. Also did not have an accent.
He was on screen for 5 minutes, though.
Still was a wonderful interpretation of the character. We don't know how long Channing's going to be on the screen.
We
But
don't.
his character was
Lance, I hate to break this to you,
received.
but we don't know anything about any of this. We're just having conversations about like what we want to see.
I know everything about this.
Okay, so that's already established. So if you're saying that we can't speculate, then we might as well just stop talking about it. I mean, that's the whole point of what we're doing.
No, I'm just saying though, like he can survive without I think he can survive.
He absolutely
having
could,
Rogue.
but it would be a missed opportunity because Rogue did exist in the Fox X-Men world. Gambit just hadn't met Rogue yet.
I would agree with
Gambit
you.
didn't exist.
I would agree with you if this was the main timeline. Like if these were the
Right.
characters we were spending long amounts of time with. I think with just, let's be honest, this is probably the last project. Maybe Secret Wars last time we'll ever see this.
I don't know. I think him being here tells me that they like him in this role. I think that might, yeah.
But I think all these X-Men here are temporary. I think they are here for this event, for they can be a part of this, and then they recast. Yes, I think there could be a cool story if he has a memory or even like a faint memory of what happened to him. There could be a really excellent story with Gambit of like, do I deserve to live?
Right.
What is my destiny if I just kind of appeared here one day, or like I never felt like I quite fit in? Why is that?
Right.
I feel like that could be really cool if you play into that.
I just don't want him to come in and be the slapstick joke character that we got in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I agree. Yeah.
That would be a big mistake on my part for them. All right, we got a couple of super chats. Actually, we have a member chat from South Texas Shark who says, "Thank you all for coming on the stream." So
I do it all the time. Wait,
that's Bo DeMaio coded. Quinlan with a 199 super chat. A lot of these characters are collateral damage. I do agree with that, but the thing is, Darren, you said you don't think they're going to kill off the X-Men.
I don't.
The OG.
No. I think they're going to go off. Yeah.
So you think they're just going to walk away from all this and like leave? So where would they go if we're going to merge the Earths into one Earth?
They're not going to do that. I think they're going to figure out a way to separate the Earths. I don't think they're going to follow in the footsteps of what DC literally tried to do.
No, but I mean, like in the story of Secret Wars, the entire point is to consolidate.
I get that, but I don't think they're going to. They haven't necessarily followed the comics beat by beat by beat by beat.
Yeah.
No, I know, but what would be your, and Darren, I'll let you speak. Sorry,
Sure.
is what would be your, like, what would be the purpose of doing this if they're not going to consolidate?
I think we do that, but I think that will be a different X-Men team. Like, I think the multiverse will still exist. They'll be out there, but we merge our individual Earths, kind of creating a new thing. So we'll have a new X-Men team, and then our Fantastic Four will be here, and then our Avengers will be here. Very Crisis, where we kind of pick and choose what gets to stay, but the multiverse is still out there that we can pick from if we want to. So.
Okay. All right.
I agree with what Darren is saying, but I don't think we're picking and choosing anything. I think from Secret Wars, when we get back to the main Earth 1999 or whatever it's going to be called, when we get back to that main Earth, we're going to look around and then boom, it's just mutants everywhere. We already have news of Tiamat Island being like, adamantium. So we're going to hear about Stryker and the Weapon X program. We're going to hear about all of that stuff. The Fantastic Four are going to be firmly planted because their Earth is going to be gone regardless because of Galactus.
Yeah.
When we get back to this, the first movie after Secret Wars, we're going to be hearing about mutants everywhere. We already have one mutant. Well, technically we have two mutants.
Two. We technically have two, yes.
Technically we have three.
Who's the third one?
Whoever appeared on She-Hulk. What mutant appeared on She-Hulk?
Oh, when she met the characters at the God, what were they called? I can't remember the name of those characters, but I know you're talking about. Yes,
but more mutants are going to come out of the woodwork. I think we're going to hear about a Professor Charles Xavier starting up a school in New York. We're going to hear about all of that stuff. We're going to see the Xavier School for Mutants. We're going to hear about the Brotherhood.
But do you think it's going to be the Patrick Stewart?
No, I think it's going to be a completely new cast. But we're still going to see Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen. We're still going to see them go back to their
let me counter
Yeah.
let me counter this a little bit. Let pull it back in a little bit.
Yes, Dad.
Do we not think that this is going to be, if we do it that way, that it's going to be very confusing for the casual audience?
I don't think so. I think you end Secret Wars explaining that there's a new cast of the X-Men, right?
Okay.
I think it's Deadpool. I think Deadpool stays here. I think Ryan will be our main Deadpool. And I think we end Ryan or Deadpool like walking into like a academy and like we don't see who it is, but he's like, oh, so you're the new cast of X-Men. Interesting, or something.
I like that.
Yeah.
So you don't think we even meet the new characters in Secret Wars?
Absolutely not. No. I don't personally, no.
Because they technically we've seen this happen before with what he just referenced with Deadpool. There's technically two different Colossuses running around in this whole weird Fox verse already. So we've already seen this happen.
I don't know. I think that, to me, that sounds very comic booky, but I also feel like it's a little bit convoluted for the casual audience. Maybe I'm wrong. Because, I mean, this is what happened with the DCEU.
You don't
it got
think
to be a little overly complicated.
You don't think it would be disrespectful to kill this cast, though? Like,
I don't think they have to kill them. I don't think that's the case.
I mean, I've seen half of them die already.
I think the idea of them walking away and going back to like maybe another, keep the multiverse. Okay, so we keep the multiverse. They go away to their own world or whatever. It's fine. But I think just mentioning names without attaching them to actors and faces is probably a mistake. Like mentioning Charles Xavier in the MCU without us meeting Charles Xavier is immediately going to invoke to the casual audience that that's Patrick Stewart. Even if we tell them otherwise, that's what their mind is going to go to. We need to have those characters introduced and cast and on screen to make sure that people understand that these are the new characters. That's what I think.
I guess that maybe just comes from me wanting to explore those stories for the first time. Like I like the idea of X-Men 1 being Charles recruiting for the first time. Like that's what I would like to see. So
well, then I would say don't even mention that like what Lance is saying about like telling the audience we've got like more characters or whatever. Don't even mention that. Like don't even say that at all. Like I would say if you're going to send off the Foxverse characters to their own universe or whatever, Monica stays, Deadpool stays, everybody else goes home.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So that happens. Then we can introduce the X-Men later on, but don't name drop people until we get to those movies. That's what I would say.
I agree. Yeah, sure.
That works. I'm just saying they haven't necessarily outright said, "Oh, you're a mutant." I think the term mutant is going to become more and more prevalent after Secret Wars.
Didn't they name drop it in Miss Marvel?
They did.
No, I'm saying like the greater.
You mean like in the term of like the public hating mutants because they have powers and stuff like that?
The public hating mutants.
Right.
Like we haven't heard any big characters like Nick Fury or even President Ross could have said something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we just got Skrulls name dropped in Daredevil the other week.
And this goes along with what I just said. I would like to see them in their own movies, but if we're going to, I don't want name drops. If they're going to use new actors, we need to see them in those roles. That's what I'm saying. We could introduce them in Secret Wars, and they could go back to planet Earth, and the next time we see them is in their own movie, building up their team and stuff like that. I'd be fine with that. I don't like the idea, excuse me, of name dropping characters that we just saw in a previous movie and then having the audience try to figure out who those people are supposed to be. I don't like that.
So I have a question. Since we're going to be consolidating universes anyway, which Spider-Man do you want to stay, Eric? Right now. Rapid round, rapid fire. Okay, don't take a pause. Just answer. Which Spider-Man you want to see stay?
I don't think we're getting multiple Spider-Men in there. I don't think we're going to see. You think they're going to come back again?
I think Toby and Andrew are going to show up in Secret Wars. I don't think they show up in Doomsday. I think they show up in Secret Wars. I also think we're going to get a random appearance from Miles Morales in Secret Wars.
I actually had a pitch today because like me and my guest today were talking like Tom might not have time to do this movie. He might be too busy with Spider-Man 4. He might be busy with Odyssey. It would be kind of fun if they're like, Tom's busy. Grab Andrew, and he'll be our Spider-Man for this movie because Tom just does not have time right now.
Right. Pedro's a no-brainer. We'll skip over that one.
I think it's easy for Tom to do voiceover work, though.
It is true.
Nobody knows who Spider-Man is, so he's going to be in the suit.
I mean, they sort of did that with Civil War. They sort of did that with Civil War. So they could do it. They could pull it off.
Yeah, like just have his stunt double show up, film some scenes, because we have to think about it. If they indeed want to put Charlie Cox in this film, he can't do it right now because he's currently filming season 2.
So
you still have to wait on that. Isn't Pedro still working on The Last of Us, or is that fully filmed right now?
2's done. 2 is done, and
2 was done a while ago, I think.
I don't know if he'll be in season 3.
I mean, because based on the
is season 3 greenlit?
Basically, they'll be. It's not.
The show did extremely well, and I'm pretty sure season 2 is going to do well. So
they said they have plans up to season 4. They're fine.
Yeah. Okay. So the last reveal after Pedro, which we knew Pedro was going to be in it, is RDJ. Now, I am going to put this out there.
Oh my god! I can't believe it.
Right.
When he told you to shh, did you say okay, Daddy?
No, I did not.
Oh.
I don't think RDJ is the only Doctor Doom.
Ooh.
Vince McMahon, you think he's coming back?
Well, no. I'm going to say that there is a reality.
Wait, what? Did you say Vince McMahon?
I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Paige.
Julian McMahon.
That's what I said.
So
you said Vince. You said Vince.
When Tony Stark goes into a coma.
Roll it back. You said Vince. You got WWE on the mind.
Okay. So when Tony Stark goes into a coma in the comics, 2 people sort of pick up the slack, which is Riri as Ironheart. She never becomes Iron Man. She's Ironheart, but she sort of helps out with an AI of Tony Stark. It's a big part of her story in the comic books. And Doom takes over as the infamous Iron Man, and he's flying around being Iron Man in the comics for a while.
This plays into my theory.
Okay, well, I think that the way they're getting around this is that this version of Doom is going to be a Doom from a planet where he had to take over for Tony Stark because Tony Stark is no longer alive. He's in a coma, whatever it might be. And that's why they're saying, because remember, Tony snapped on our Earth and he's gone. That's why the Russos were saying, if Lance is saying the quote is real, is that the death plays into it, is that this is a world where Doom has to take over for Tony Stark. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't the Doom that does all the shit and creates Doomsday and Battleworld and all that, but I don't think this is going to be the Doom that we're going to have moving forward. I think we're going to get introduced to another Doom.
Oh, of course.
Hopefully, yeah.
He's gonna be black.
Who?
I
Wait, Artie. Well, he's already done that before. It's RDJ, so it's just re-exploring.
But-
I mean, the cameo.
Me personally, I think, especially with him doing the thing, which is what he did. And hear me out. This may be like tinfoil hat. He did the Tony Stark did the same thing to Morgan Stark after he discovered time travel. What if in this whole timey-wimey thing somewhere another Victor Von Doom discovered time travel as well and figured out a way to get into this guy's body when he died?
I'll tell you what, though. I hate being shushed. It actually triggered me. I hate when people tell me to shush. Like, literally go shush. I'm like, how about you shush yourself?
Shush, Pagey.
Fucking hate it.
maybe it's just me, and like
Rude.
I'm okay if I'm the party pooper. This made me so sad when he appeared on screen. Like I was like out of all the cool announcements, I was like, oh yeah, we still have this.
It should have been Vince McMahon, based on what Lance was. If Vince McMahon walked in.
His
What about
personality
Toby
here.
Keble.
Keble, whatever it is, bring him back. He
Just-
died. He died in a lot of.
You're
other
like
stuff.
me with names. Like, stop naming names. You're going to get them all wrong, and then people are going to correct you on them every single time.
I like getting corrected.
Oh, by the way, did you talk about? I don't think you would have. Maybe you would have. I don't know. You have to let me know, Eric.
Oh, here we go.
Did you watch Final Destination trailer on a stream? Or
I haven't. No, I haven't watched it yet. I usually stay away from stuff like that because they're so bloody and gory. YouTube blocks them.
No, the
so-
trailer didn't show any of that crap.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of the Final Destination since like the second one, so I don't know any of the lore behind the show.
I think I've only
Maybe.
watched the first 3, but
I didn't know they had that in Australia.
what Final Destination? Well, I think it's just every destination could be your final one.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll tell you
alright,
what,
so
though.
yeah,
Everyone talks about like their like fears for that movie, like whether it's flying or crap like that. My one is the lawnmower from I think it's number 3 or number. Or maybe it's 4. Maybe I've seen 4 where the lawnmower like flicks the rock and it. Like
I just think that it's
kills-
gotten so convoluted that they're just coming up with weird ways for people to die. That like
I would rather-
Ways to die.
I'd rather the Final Destination movies over Saw because Saw is just torture porn, while Final Destination is just like ludicrous ways that someone can die.
Yes, I agree. I'm
No,
not
I
into
heard
either
that-
one of those. So
I heard that movie, The Monkey, is just Final Destination but more funnier, like
The
more
Monkey?
comedic. The Monkey, this movie called The Monkey. Didn't you see that recently? I didn't see it in the theaters. I don't think it was
No.
that successful, but it was. Yeah, it's by
M. Night Shyamalan.
James Wan produced it and stuff like that. It's like a monkey, like one of those like. Well, I think it was meant to be the one with the symbols, but then Disney copyrighted that version of a
Yeah, they did.
musical monkey, so they had to use one with a drum. And like when it beats
oh,
the
I
drum,
do,
it
yeah, okay,
stops.
yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah,
that.
so when it stops beating the drum, not beating the meat, Lance, getting the mine out of the gutter,
You can
beating the
copyright
drum.
that?
Yeah, Disney, because of Toy Story. It's in Toy Story 3.
Toy Story 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so dumb. Oh,
Yeah. So in
I think
the
it was
original
so
dumb.
in the original Stephen King book, it's just like the symbol monkey, but they couldn't use it because Disney copyrighted it.
Right.
But apparently that movie's just Final Destination, but like more humorous. Like they actually have fun with it.
Yeah. All right. So these are all the people that were not listed in that reveal that people have brought up, and
Me, Lance, Darren.
I think
Eric.
there's a lack of women, so a lot of the women are going to be in the second reveal because they just can't. There's so many women, you
Yeah.
can't like leave all the ladies out. So,
Oh God, the MCU.
I
People
know.
were saying that, and like they're right. There is a lack of women, but there's just a lack of Phase 4, 5, and just like TV
Right.
shows in general.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's no diversity. It's no diversity. In
So-
that.
Just like really quick, this proves our whole point that like Phase 1, 2, and 3 just didn't have enough females. That's just
No.
that entire thing
True,
put on
true.
display.
Because they had to include Invisible Woman, who wasn't even part of the earlier phases. So
Yeah.
like,
And
So-
Yelena.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris Evans, we know, is coming back in some regard. We don't know what the role is going to be, but I mean,
Yeah.
are we getting Hydra Cap? Are we getting regular Cap? I don't know. It's one
We're
of those.
getting
two.
Human Torch.
Just quickly,
yeah.
just before you move on from when they announced an election in America, do you just get bombarded by text messages and stuff saying vote for
Yeah.
us? Vote
Yes,
for us.
yeah, we get-
They announced the Australian election today, and I'm non-stop all day being getting text messages from local parliament.
Yeah,
begging
we
me
get
to
them
vote
too.
for
I'm glad when election season is over because it stops, so we don't have that.
It's
Hey,
ridiculous.
Hey Eric.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of something crazy when you said Chris Evans. So when they announced that the 2005 Fantastic Four show up in this film, and they get on screen at the same time. They get on the screen at the same time as the new Fantastic Four, and Pedro Pascal looks at Ian Grufford and says, "You know what? Let's team up and call ourselves the Epic Eight."
Isn't it Owen?
Is it? I don't know.
You can't get names right. That's the problem.
But isn't that a dope name for a superhero team, the Epic Eight?
It's the alliteration is great.
It
Sounds
sounds,
like
sounds
a
to be,
show or something.
I was gonna say it sounds super sus actually.
Yeah.
Sounds like the Bang Bus or something like that. Doesn't sound really appealing.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Just imagine when all the Fantastic Fours get together, and it's going to be like the Bangtastic 12 or something. I don't know.
I mean, are we assuming that the OG Fantastic Four are coming
12.
back?
I don't think so.
Michael Chiklis has been hinting. I don't know.
I think it would be the biggest mistake in the world to immediately bring back the OG Fantastic Four right after you introduce the new Fantastic Four.
Okay, fine. Bring back the ones from 2015.
I mean, I think the new Fantastic Four need to be established, and I think doing that is a little confusing.
I unironically think it's more likely to get 2015 than
Maybe.
the classic.
With Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan and all that.
I think Michael B. Jordan. Yeah,
At least
I think that's fine.
fans.
Well, I don't know. Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors team up. We might finally get it in a Marvel movie for some reason. I don't know.
Oh my god. Haley Atwell as I'm assuming some version of Carter, either Captain Carter or just Peggy. I actually like her, but we've already seen her in live action, so I don't know.
We saw her die so easily.
Well, not in the What If series. Like she goes on forever. So, Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. I think he's definitely going to be there. Okoye, Star Lord, Daredevil. I don't know about Daredevil.
Yes,
I think he'll be in Secret Wars.
Yes.
Okay.
Daredevil's going to be there. With Ben Affleck.
Wong, I think for sure. Ms. Marvel, I think most likely. Jeremy Renner. I don't know if Hawkeye's coming back. I'm a little on the fence about that.
We need both Hawkeyes.
I think Hawkeye will appear whenever the Young Avengers appear.
Yeah, we need with the Hawks, we need two of them. I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
Tom Holland Spider-Man, we're still kind of figuring that one out.
Wars,
Moon Knight. I think Valkyrie's probably going to be there. I think Wasp will probably be there.
Retire?
She's done. Yeah.
Evangeline Lilly's not acting anymore?
Yeah, she quit.
She said she retired from acting, so...
You don't think they could offer her enough money to come back for a cameo?
Does
No,
anyone care?
I think she's done too much political crap.
Yeah, to be honest, there's probably only maybe a quarter of these, if you're lucky, where people would go, "Oh, okay, that piques my interest 1%."
Yeah.
There's probably a bunch of these people. I'm sorry, Olga Koryolenko as Taskmaster. Yeah, I don't think anyone gives a fuck.
Brie Larson's definitely coming back as Captain Marvel. That's guaranteed.
I mean, Cody brought up that she's on Broadway, right? So maybe they wait till Secret Wars to bring her back.
Who's on Broadway?
Brie Larson.
She is.
She shaved her head.
Yeah, I mean they could give her a wig.
Well, I probably. Yeah, I guess so.
I think it's like a cameo or something, as like a hologram or something.
Maybe. She-Hulk. Somebody was saying there's a rumor that she's got a big role in the movie, but they haven't talked about it yet.
Once again, it's probably some ass person based on
maybe.
Jeff Snyder.
Ironheart probably. Nick Fury maybe. I don't know if he's even necessary, but I could see. So, Kate Bishop probably. Now Elizabeth Olsen. We talked about this on the last stream. She seems to be pretty much done, but I don't know if that's her. It seems like she's being genuine about it, but I don't know if that's her just hiding.
Yeah, I think
there's
probably a genuine side to it. And it's like, hey, here's $10 million for 2 days of work. Okay, right. I'm back.
They have to keep it. They have to keep us thinking that she's dead. The same way Benedict Cumberbatch said, "Oh yeah, I'm not returning." In 2 days later, "Oh yeah, I was wrong. I am."
Yeah. So Doctor Strange, Monica Rambeau seems to be guaranteed.
Hold on, how did they slide in Dakota Johnson as Madam Web in here? I just realized.
Wait, what?
I think that's just people. They took comments under the post, and they were like, "This person's not in there" or whatever.
Oh no, I think they were
But-
just having fun with it.
Maybe,
They're just
maybe.
joking.
But Madam Web would definitely not show up. I think America Chavez will probably be there because I actually think they're going to establish some Young Avenger energy.
I'll tell you what, they
movie.
need to start doing something with that Young Avengers because it's too hard not to laugh at the meme now. Where it's that actress that plays America Chavez has been to more premieres and she has minutes on these
Yeah.
MCU.
Well,
movies.
they did announce. I think they said they announced the showrunner or the director or the writer. I can't remember.
I don't think
Somebody
that's
texted us.
confirmed.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just rumored stuff. Yeah.
All right.
Actually,
All
I have a like a thought about that after you're
Yeah.
done with this that I'll share.
Well, we can stop there. I just wanted to go through the people that weren't announced. So
We just gotta wait for the more to come because they announced
Yeah.
more was coming. Just coming.
Yeah, we
Alan's
have-
coming.
We have a whole other half of cast. Yeah.
yeah. Well, so what were you gonna say?
No,
Darren?
like it crossed my mind today where like maybe not a full on one, but like I do wonder if maybe Vision Quest could work as a place for these characters to finally unite, right? Because we know that obviously Vision will have a connection with the Tommy and the what's the other one's name? Tommy and Billy, right? So it's like I could see a world where maybe that show's about him going out, maybe trying to find his sons that are out there, find out what happened to them. Ultron, unironically, would be a good first villain for the Young Avengers to fight
Yeah.
if you wanted something like that. Like it's an old villain of the MCU that the original Avengers fought would be a cool like, oh, this is like a rite of passage for us to have to team up this guy. Do I think that will happen? No, but I do think it would actually probably be the smartest move, especially if you want them to have been established before Doomsday and Secret Wars. I feel like that could be kind of cool.
All right, we got a couple of. Let's drop this out. A couple of super chats here. So Alicia says, with the $2 super chat, thank you so much. 5 women of 27 announcements, not cool. Yeah, I noticed that, and like Darren, you said that's a big like indicator that there was a lack of women in the earlier phases
100%.
of the MCU. No variant of Black Widow announced either, other than we have Yelena, but not from the OG Black Widow, so she wasn't announced. So not sure if we're gonna see that character come back.
I don't think we're gonna. I don't think she wants to come.
What
back.
about
I don't think
Gamora?
she doesn't. No.
I don't
What?
think
Gamora,
she.
Nebula, no Nebula.
No Guardians were.
There's no
announced.
Guardians yet. Yeah.
I mean Star-Lord.
Well, Star-Lord.
He wasn't. No, I'm saying he wasn't announced either.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Chris
wasn't.
Pratt was not announced.
No, he wasn't.
Chris Hemsworth is Star-Lord in this movie.
Pagey,
Got him.
Pagey, where's my belt? Because you need a war.
Wait, can I ask something quickly? What's on your shirt? It's got words.
Who me?
Not yours, Eric. Lance's, because it's got like a fucking
Street Fighter.
paragraph on there.
Street
It's
Fighter.
it's the shirt I always wear.
Yeah, but I
I
can't
might
see it.
look.
Oh, okay, yeah, I think I've seen you wear that before. It had holes where nipples are usually, so you fix that shirt up.
Here we go. Where's this at?
What was that thing I was
What are you gonna do when they announce Christopher Daniel Barnes will be appearing as Spider-Man in
Who's
Secret
that?
Wars?
Who's Christopher Daniel Barnes?
The voice actor for Spider-Man '99. Jesus Christ.
No one would get that. They'd be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
A lot of people would get that because they want. him
Yeah,
back
but
in
most of those people
97.
probably deserve
yeah, but they
kick to
don't
the
recognize him. They know his voice.
Yeah, they'll recognize his voice when he's in a Spider-Man suit. Duh.
Oh gosh, these super chats. So Stagger Warrior with the 4.99 super chat. Just got a stream. I'm putting a super chat to help with the goal. Well, thank you so much. We didn't actually hit the goal. I'm going to start it up again with like a smaller number so we can try and hit it before the end of the stream. Because you guys have gotten very close to the goal. So
How much do you need, Eric? How much do you need? I still got tax money.
we officially were 3 super chats away, and that would have been $15 in super chats. So
That's too rich for my blood.
I was going to say, yeah, how much do you need?
Mate, what did you have for dinner?
I had Harold's chicken.
Harold.
Yeah.
We had the same reaction the other day.
Y'all don't know what. Eric, have you heard of Cooper's Hawk Winery?
No.
He said a Hawk Tour, not Hawk Winery. But
Oh my god.
Oh, that's a good point. We haven't talked about the Haktua news yet.
Paige probably
I-
knows it. I haven't heard anything about it, so
No, but
Darren,
I'm
you're
excited.
too young to know about. We haven't talked about Stephen Yeun being cast in Avatar: The Last Airbender live.
yeah, because
action.
no one gives a fuck.
I care. You know what? I heard it was beef between you and that side of the world. So I'll let that slide.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Is that America?
Man.
oh my god.
No, that's not America.
Since we got about halfway to the goal, I have set it at any level. So even the 99-cent super chats count now. So we need 5 super chats of any level. So even if you want to throw $1 in the hat, you can. Because Quindolin dropped 2 $4.99 super chats there. Thank you so much, Quindolin. So yeah, 5 super chats of any tier will hit the goal. That's very, very. It like literally. No matter what country you're in, it's the lowest tier. So Lone Wolf. So you use 2 N's here. $2 super chat. Why are y'all cunning, guys? Okay, I'm sorry. So
Hey Eric, I have a question, but it's not about Marvel.
yeah,
I want to know your thoughts on and this is gonna send Darren crazy. I want to know your thoughts on the castings for Jon Stewart's parents in present day and in the past.
Why would that drive me crazy?
Because you know who I want to show up as a part of his family.
Oh,
I didn't see the present. I didn't see the present day castings.
The present day castings are who are they?
One's called like Spencer, isn't it? Or something?
That's the they can't. Then it's funny that they're doing it for Nicole Ari Parker is playing his mom in present day,
Mhm.
and I think
Candace Patton is paying his aunt.
no, I'm Sherman.
That's it.
Sherman Augustus is playing his
I
father in
knew it was a
present day.
fucking stupid name. Who's called Sherman? Like that, when I think Sherman, I think American Pie. The
I have
Shermanator.
I have a cousin named Sherman.
We'll slap him next time you see him.
He's a junior, so
Okay, well maybe he can still slap, but just not as hard.
and then you got the so all we're waiting for and Eric, bear with me because you're gonna see where I'm going with this. You're gonna see the vision. You're gonna see the vision because they
Okay.
did this on TV. So they cast the mom and they cast the dad, right? Who are they missing for Jon Stewart's family?
The mistress?
No, they're missing Lynn. They're missing Lynn Stewart. And who does Lynn Stewart marry?
I don't know that.
Harvey Weinstein.
good call.
Jefferson Pierce.
Oh, that's right. She does.
Jesus, Eric, you're supposed to know this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot about that.
They
Yeah,
have
that's
to
true.
Once they cast Lynn, then that just opens the door for there to be a live action Black Lightning in the DCU. Just make him dark.
Are you just mentioning this, or do you have a fan casting?
My fan casting would still be Crest.
Oh my god.
No. Not
For Lynn.
the
For
woman.
Lynn, I feel as if I feel as if no, because I can't decide would the sister have to be light skinned too, or
See you later, Reed.
would she be dark skinned because the dad is dark skinned? I can't decide.
Maybe flip a coin.
I don't know who I would pick to play Lynn. Like,
I don't. So you're concerned about that, but I can guarantee that 99% of the people watching the show don't care.
Yeah.
I care.
Right. You're 1%.
Yeah,
So,
but you're also focusing on like
Now, I'm not going to disagree with this comment. Arrowverse Black Lightning was hashtag perfection. I
except for
totally
that
agree
one
with that.
ass season.
You didn't think it was too woke?
Well, I will say this: the scenes with the stunt person wearing his face as a mask, like one of those plastic Halloween masks, was pretty hilarious.
Well, Eric's favorite
but-
character
That's
was
great, right?
I don't.
Maybe.
Why did
What
they
was-
make that decision for that show and that show only? Nobody else did that. Every other stunt double was just you could tell.
3 Dubs here. He
somebody else.
says Halle Berry for Lynn.
Isn't it Lynnne?
Yeah.
Oh, that says is that like a Chinese character, Lin? That's gets a bit too controversial though.
It is. It is.
Casting.
So Alicia,
what movie is that?
what?
Ling Ling? What's that movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is that Mean Girls?
What?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
maybe
is it,
maybe it was Mean Girls. I do think
Is
you're
it
right.
Mean
I think it was
Girls
Mean
or-
Girls. Yeah.
or is it the other one? No, it's Hot Chick.
What? I only saw Hot Chick one time. Oh, it is Hot Chick, the Rob Schneider movie,
Bling
right?
Bling forgot her bling bling. Yeah, that's it.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
Oh,
yeah.
I started when you said hot chick. I started thinking about white chicks.
No. Hot Chick is
I
the
did
Rob
too.
Schneider movie or whatever.
I watched White Chicks the other about a week ago.
Okay,
Fucking
so-
funny.
You have that in Australia?
Yeah.
Bookmark the White Chicks thing. I got a funny story I'll tell you right after this. But Alicia here with the $2 super chat says, Avatar Last Airbender movie is going to be
Didn't you
fire.
hear this
made
was
by
an all
creators.
white party?
Do we agree with this comment? I think that they're right, that it is going to be.
It is if it stops getting delayed.
Yeah.
Just give us the show, even though it's gonna be like 75 in the second season.
Yeah.
Well,
So, yeah, go ahead, Darren.
I do think it's interesting because this is now the second celebrity casting we've had for it, which is something that the original show didn't
Who was
do
the
a lot
first?
of. So that's kind of interesting to me.
Who's the first?
Dave Bautista, Drax.
He was casting that?
He's the villain. Yeah.
Fire Lord Ozai?
No, he's
Oh.
dead.
Wait, no, is this is the live action show that Steven Yeun is cast for, right?
No. This is the movie.
He's doing
Yeah,
the voice.
Isn't they doing a live action movie?
No, animated movie.
No, it's an animated
It's an-
movie. Even I
yeah,
know
it-
it is.
It's a continuation of it. They're all like adults now.
See,
Yeah.
I forgot about. Oh, what if he's voicing Aang? Aang.
I think he's already cast. Aang's cast already.
Is he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
voicing someone else. It's like, yeah, it's like something.
All right. The story I was going to tell you about the White Chicks thing. So, I was working at an event where they had people doing dance routines. And the place I was working at, the owner likes to mess with the entertainment.
Oh no.
And so they were working, and one of the entertainers' makeup, there was a white girl, looked like White Chicks. Like it was just very flat
Thick.
makeup or whatever. So she had her number choreographed, and they were doing this dance routine to, I think it was a new Lady Gaga song. I can't remember what it was. It was a new Lady Gaga song, I believe. So we're dancing to it, and he told me, he goes, as soon as the song ends, before they come off stage, play that Vanessa Carlton song from White Chicks. And I was like, why? He goes, look at them. And I said, okay, like, they're entertaining, right? You know what I mean? Like, do we really want to do that? He goes, the crowd is going to love it. They have a good sense of humor. Do it, or whatever. So the crowd was cheering for him or whatever. The song ended, and all of a sudden, that making my way downtown. Well, that came on or whatever. The crowd started laughing like crazy and cheering, and it was so funny. But like people still remember that movie to this day. It's probably one of the most iconic comedy movies
I thought
of that era.
you were gonna say you started playing "Tricky" by Run DMC because that's the song that they danced to.
Oh yeah, no, it wasn't that one. No. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we have 2 out of 5 of the super chats.
I'll be back in 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, it's the final push. 2 out of 5. Thank you guys for donating so far.
I'm gonna have to hop out of here. I'm gonna get
Okay.
some rest. But,
All right. We'll see you later, Darren. Have a good night. Thank you for hanging out.
I have
See
to
you guys
do
later.
the thing.
Bye bye.
You're doing the same?
Yeah, gotta be up for work.
Okay. Cool. See you later. Thanks for coming in.
Always. You know, this is my. I was the host after Paige anyway, so. Yeah.
Oh shit. That's true.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, so we have a couple more super chats here. Staggervore, $4.99 super chat. Maybe the rest of the Avengers cast will be announced during or after Comic-Con. I think it might be with CinemaCon. I think CinemaCon might be the announcement. We talked about it earlier before you got here, Staggervore, but I actually think that they're going to do it either before or after, maybe even during CinemaCon. CinemaCon seems to be the new place for announcing stuff, so it's possible. South Texas Shark here with $2 super chat. What are your thoughts on Elon and Assassin's Creed? So I don't know how many of the people in the chat are gamers, but seeing everyone melt down over Assassin's Creed and saying that it was gonna be boycotted, nobody was gonna play it, you know, all the get woke go broke nonsense or whatever. Seeing both Grums and Elon get ratioed by the official Assassin's Creed account was hilarious. Are you back, Paigey? He's not back. Seeing them get ratioed by the the official account was hilarious. It reminded me of, I don't know if you're not in the United States, you might not get this reference, but when the Wendy's account would ratio people, they would roast them on Twitter in replies. That's what it reminded me of, was that. So seeing that happen was absolutely hilarious. It was pretty funny. I love myself a good roast. Alicia here with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. The Avatar: The Last Airbender animated creators got screwed over by Netflix, so they founded Avatar Studios to continue their universe their way. Hashtag hype train, bring it on. Yeah, I saw that. I'm so glad that they have the opportunity to continue that story. I love Korra, so hopefully we're going to see more of that character, and they'll be able to do what they want.
I know I wasn't gone for that long. Where did those two people go?
As soon as you, like, literally, as soon as you're like, I'll be right back, they left. So
wow, that's very, very.
It was very rude of them. Very rude.
Yeah.
By the way, do you agree? So while you were gone, I answered the super chat. Do you think they might do something during CinemaCon? I know we've talked about how big CinemaCon is.
Well, not CinemaCon. I don't. Well, I mean, for DC, maybe. I mean, people putting too much on it though. Like, I think you might get us. They might do the Superman trailer at Comic-Con in a couple. CinemaCon in a few days. But I don't see them. It's about. I saw someone say they're going to do something for Lanterns there. I'm like, it's fucking called CinemaCon. It's for cinema owners. Like, that's the whole point.
Why do you think they're trying to turn CinemaCon into like a Comic-Con? Why do you think?
I think it's because Comic-Con's so bloated a lot of time, and the thing is that if, like, this year, I can understand Gunn not wanting to go and do anything at Comic-Con because he's going to get swept out by Secret Wars and Doomsday stuff. So unless he's going to announce or show anything, and what's he going to show? Supergirl?
Yeah.
Some stuff with Lanterns? Like, it's going to
go
go
straight
now that you're mentioning
that,
who cares?
now that you're mentioning that, I actually agree, because I think for them to show all of this stuff at CinemaCon waste a bunch of time, a bunch of hype for them to do stuff at Comic-Con. So
well, but
it makes more sense for them to wait till
CinemaCon.
Comic-Con.
They need to focus on Superman because that comes out in a few months after CinemaCon.
Yeah,
and that's what the focus. The only thing you can maybe show is some stuff from Supergirl because it's coming out.
Do you think we'll get some Fantastic
Four
Four stuff at CinemaCon? Maybe some extra, like a new.
I don't know. Does Disney ever really do anything like that? Like, Warner Brothers always seems to have a presence at CinemaCon, but Disney has D23 of their own. So they do they need to go to CinemaCon?
They might make us wait, because the truth is, this news they just dropped is going to last for weeks. People are going to be talking about this for weeks. So.
If Marvel continues to have a presence at Comic-Con, even if it's just like big every 2 years, not necessarily every single year, Warner Brothers has to consider DC having its own, like, bringing back fandom, but in some way. I think.
They also just announced that new, like, nostalgic retro game for Marvel, the Invasion game or whatever. It's like a side scroller. Like, do you remember that Turtles game that used to be in arcades where you go around and, like, slash and beat up stuff or whatever? Like,
yeah,
it's like that, but it's a new game. But it's basically that. It's a side scrolling beat 'em up game. It's looks great to me. Like, I feel like they're making all the right decisions with games, and DC just can't get it right. So
yeah.
I don't know. Stagger Warrior with the 499 super chat. How many superhero films do you expect to be released next year? Well, I think we have. Hold on, DC. We have Supergirl, right? Isn't that one? Is that coming out next year? Or is it the Supergirl, and then we're probably gonna have the Clayface movie. Maybe Sergeant Rock if they fast track it. Maybe. Because they could do Sergeant Rock pretty quickly if they wanted. But they need to get in production on that before the end of the summer. If Sergeant Rock isn't in production by the end of the summer, it won't come out next year. But Clayface and Supergirl. And then we're probably going to get 2, maybe 3 Marvel movies. I think 4 at the low end, 5 on the high end next year.
Yeah.
That would be my guess. Do you think that's a fair statement or no?
Yeah, especially because Sony's not doing anything. So yeah, 4 to 6, I guess, if it's a big year for both of them combined.
I mean, if they get the Sergeant Rock movie out, they could probably pull off 6. But
yeah,
but is Sergeant Rock considered a superhero film? I don't know if it is.
Yeah, I think it's more comic book. Like,
Yeah.
it's based off a comic book.
South Texas Shark with a $2 super chat. Thank you for keeping me company during a big storm. Oh, you guys are having a storm right now? Sorry to hear that. We have some possible rain and stuff coming through this week. Might be the remnants of yours. So, Staggervore doing the 199 goal achieved. There we go. We did. We hit the goal. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, next time that happens, I'll lower it down. I can't change it. The one thing that I hate. Okay, so this is my little criticism about the YouTube fan funding tab. Say, for example, we get towards the end and I'm like, I want to go in and change the goal number so that it's easier to reach. You can't do it. I would have to close down that goal and start a brand new one. They won't let me go in and like change it or change the amounts or whatever. It's really annoying. I like it. I think it's fun, but they need to make it a little bit more user friendly. So, anyway, so Paige, have you watched Daredevil this week?
No, I actually haven't.
There's 2 episodes.
Yeah, no, I haven't got. I'll probably watch them tomorrow.
Okay, so I'll talk about them unspoilery while we're sitting here because I know people had asked me what my opinion was. I didn't do a Daredevil review because basically I lost my voice, so I didn't even bother to record a video. But we had 2 episodes. I think remember we talked about it like maybe one wasn't good and the other one was. I think were you here when we talked about that?
I think so, or maybe partially. I was
So there was a rumor that that episode 5 was the worst episode of the season, and it was getting paired up with episode 6 to make sure that it didn't seem like it was.
The only thing I heard is that one of the episodes, I think, or maybe it's both, but I think one is very like detached. It's like a time.
Yeah, that was 5. That would have been 5.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 is like a bottle episode. Remember we talked about the difference between filler and bottle. It's not really filler. It's an episode where there is a contained story, but some of the stuff is going to carry over to the rest of the season. So it wasn't completely filler. There's some stuff in there that's probably going to make a difference later on.
Okay.
But episode 5 was a contained story about Matt in a situation where he has to figure out how to do things without access to his costume and stuff like that. It's a good episode. Like, I know people were saying it, they like, oh, it's the worst one or whatever. No, it wasn't. It was a good episode. But I think episode 6 was fucking crazy good. Crazy good. I think episode 6 might be my favorite episode of the season. So many great things happen in episode 6. I think 6 to me feels like they finally at that point had figured out how to marry like the old stuff with the new stuff. If that makes any sense. Because I think episode 5 feels like a remnant of the old formula of the show.
Oh, okay.
Like it feels like it's an episode that they had pretty much done in that old form. I could be wrong, and I'm sure there's some people in the chat that might know, but that's what it felt like to me. Episode 6 felt like they finally hit their stride with blending the two together. It's probably because it's later in the season and they were able to do more stuff towards the end of the season. So, anyway, I loved episode 6. I thought it was really strong. Episode 5 was really good. After you watch it, are you coming in on Saturday for my big stream? Are you going to stop in or no?
Yeah, sure. That's just, yeah. But you're starting earlier, so I might not.
I don't think you'll be there at the beginning because I'm starting earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably jump in like halfway through or something.
Yeah, so if you watch it, I'm curious to hear your opinion on that. But have you seen the spoilers for the suit, the dark suit, the shadow?
I saw the black, like the black suit sort of thing.
So since this is the end of the stream, this is the last thing I want to talk about. Actually, let's go ahead and look at what the choice was for the poll before we do this. All right, so you guys voted. This is on the Reloaded channel. And what you guys would like to see is a comic book shop live stream. So the next time I go to pick up my books for the month, I usually do like a once a month trip, sometimes twice a month. I will go in with my camera. We'll do a vertical live stream with you guys. And I'll let everybody know ahead of time which day I decide to go, because it'll be during the afternoon. So thank you guys so much for reaching the goal. And yeah, so there we go. All right, so anybody that doesn't want to get spoiled, because I think the suit is going to show up in maybe the next couple episodes. This is going to be the new Daredevil suit. So here we go. And I see why they were being secretive about this, why they didn't want to spoil too much about it. So here we go. This is the suit. I think this suit is amazing. I love this. I love the you can see how it's like the red is peeking through under the black, and it looks like the symbols are airbrushed on the suit, like almost homemade but not quite. You know what I mean? Like it's got that vibe to it.
Yeah.
I love this suit. What do you think of it? What is your take on this?
Yeah, I think it looks weird. Like when I saw it, I was like, wow. Like mainly because they did the DD, like they actually did the lettering and stuff like that. But I think it also, even like around the face, it seems to fit really well. Like it, but yeah, like I think it looks pretty good, and you'd hope that it is. But he, what they're going for here is that he's just gotten one of his red suits and just painted it black.
Right, and spray painted.
That's why, and that's why that's why the red is sort of coming through on like.
But I like that element of it because he's not like an Avenger where he can just go have another suit manufactured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the whole setups of She-Hulk was that he had to get a new suit. So,
well, also, I guess you could do the funny thing is that he literally can't see, so he can't see necessarily the specifics of if there's a bit of red coming through.
Yeah. I wonder what makes him decide to put the DD. Is it because he wants to? So here's my theory on this. I think the whole Frank Castle Punisher thing, where the police are using his symbol and doing like being corrupt cops. I think Daredevil realizes he has to have a symbol as well that represents the opposite of that. Yeah. So he decides to put his symbol up there, the Daredevil.
Do you think he starts leaving that around, like the DD around?
Like on walls and stuff? Maybe. Like possibly. I think it is.
The Ben Affleck movie when he does it with the gasoline on the floor.
No,
remember that?
He's going to do that. Yes, I don't think he's going to do that.
Do you think they could do that? Be a funny like little. I'm still waiting for Evanescence to play in this show. Surely at some point they have to drop.
You think they would do that? You think they would bring him back to life?
You have to have some fun.
I mean, it is Born Again is the title of the show, so
that should be the closing. That should be the closing song at the end of this season.
Do you think? Okay, so my question is, do you think they change the subtitle of the show every season? So this season is Born Again. Next season will be Daredevil something else. Or do you think they're going to just keep calling it Daredevil Born Again?
I'd assume they keep it the same. I'd assume so. And also, we don't know how long they would plan to do this show for. They might try and shift him into the movies and stuff in a few years.
That was one of the things we mentioned. I think you were here when we said that. Like you were sitting here when we were reading through it. But you think Daredevil's going to be in one of the two movies, like Doomsday?
I think he'll probably be in Secret Wars. I don't think he'll be in the first one, just because the shows they probably want the But
you ready, Pagey? Speaking of Evanescence, they're going to drop a new song for Devil.
Yeah, but I don't want a new song. I want Bring Me to Life. I mean, Devil May Cry already had Roland as the theme song, so Eric's already signed up.
I think they announced the Accords were repealed in She-Hulk. I think in She-Hulk they mentioned that. Yeah. So Ghost here says during She-Hulk in court, Matt Murdock reminds Judge Price that the Sokovia Accords were repealed. So there is no like superhero registration situation going on.
How can you see? Imagine that just dropping Eric. Like it slowly builds in, then you get the
like right here when he's walking out with the pimp walk, and
it should be literally the reveal scene for this costume, for this suit, is the Bring Me to Life. Like I'm sorry, like you have to at least have some fun with it.
Maybe.
Can't wake up. Save me.
Oh my
Imagine
god.
that, Eric.
I don't know if I would like that. I'm just gonna let you live in that.
You know, it's one of those things where you're like, oh, that sounds cringe, and then it happens. You're like, this is fucking awesome, and then all of a sudden you're rewatching that scene over and over and over, and all of a sudden you're Daredevil, Eric.
Pages make you sad.
It's a weird thing. You'd think they make it like a legacy thing, but didn't Disney do the exact same thing? I think with one of their like maybe like 20 years ago or something, they got rid of one of the place where a lot of the iconic cartoon characters was created.
I mean, this kind of, well, first of all, I think it is sad, but I also think this is it was inevitable the way they'd been talking about Looney Tunes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, Doc? Nothing. Getting bulldozed.
Yours truly, it happens. It's already happened. I mean, the stuff they were talking about earlier.
How can you see?
It's already occurred.
I'm
just going through some of the stuff that I have here bookmarked.
Like open doors.
Have you
Sing
seen
it,
Snow
Eric.
White yet? Have you seen Snow White?
Yeah, Eric, I was first in line. Of course not.
Oh my goodness. Oh, here's some pictures of that Marvel game. Check this out. It's like a 2-dimensional side scroller here.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Very like, Marvel versus Capcom meets TMNT meets Double Dragon. And it's also a console game. It's not a mobile game.
Oh, okay.
It's called Cosmic Invasion.
Interesting.
Are you going to be playing this?
You know what? If they drop Evanescence in the Daredevil Born Again season 1 finale when he comes out in that suit, I might just do that as a return of favor.
I wonder how much.
I'll tell you what though,
so.
the Arrowverse seem to always have decent needle drops, for sometimes closing scenes, and like half of the Daredevil writing staff is from the Arrowverse, so like, and like they're all producers as well, like that Grain Godfrey and what's that other person's name? I can't remember. So maybe they're like, what was your favorite Arrowverse needle drop?
Return of the Mac.
Oh yeah, it's probably a hard one to beat. I mean,
That
I know
scene
you
in
love Lovers of
general-
Battlefield as well.
No, I hated that one. That scene is
Really?
probably my favorite scene in all of Legends of Tomorrow, to be honest.
Had that random song when Joe announced Cecile was pregnant. I can't remember that.
I don't remember that one either.
I remember the one where like when Iris works with that community thing and they make that "You Gotta Be" the Desiree song.
Hold on. We got to talk about this here before we wrap up. So I saw this. So if you guys aren't familiar with Snyder Queen, this is one of the biggest like Snyder Bros toxic accounts there are on Twitter. So Ben did an interview and he says, "I'm not interested in going down that particular genre again, not because of the bad experience, just I've lost interest in what was of interest about it to me." Then he goes on to talk about how his kid was afraid to see Batman because they made Batman like scary and frightening or whatever. And he in the interview, he's very clear that he's like, "I'm not interested in doing this anymore." And I mean, he kind of walked away after not getting his own movie anyway. So it wasn't like there was anything ever left for him to do. I was actually shocked he came back for the Flash movie, but I think that was because it was a very small role in the film. But Snyder Queen goes, "The best Batman of all time, hashtag make the Batfleck movie."
Yeah,
What the fuck?
there's a lot of delusion.
Like, did you not read the tweet? Like, he doesn't want to play this character anymore.
Yeah, it's like when you don't want a sandwich. Here's a sandwich. I don't want the sandwich. It's got mayonnaise on it.
Do you think? What do you think keeps the Snyder people doing what they're doing? To be honest, because I think
it's pretty simple. They were fixated on something for so long that it's a part of their personality, but it's also something that doesn't necessarily exist anymore, if that makes sense. But I think it's also like maybe like an entitlement thing because they feel that all that pushing and stuff was why the Snyder Cut happened when it wasn't. It's because HBO Max needed content.
Yeah,
And it was
we've
the
talked about
takeaway
that.
that-
I know people don't want to listen to us, but literally that's why. That's
Yeah.
why it happened. I mean,
And obviously there had to be like some sort of thing where like people sort of wanted it, so they weren't delivering it to nothing. But it wasn't this like harassment style promotion or campaigning that got it over the line. It was the fact that HBO Max needed content during the pandemic.
mm-hmm. Let me show you guys an example of what not to do, how not to promote your movie. Paul Walter Hauser says he thinks the Fantastic Four first steps will reinvigorate the MCU. I believe this will go down in history as one of the ones that started a new tide of successful storytelling for Marvel Studios.
Yeah, it's probably not the best way. But then again, he probably doesn't care about the other projects and stuff.
You know what this tells me? That he's a one and done character. This is what that tells me.
Well, who's he meant to be playing? Isn't he meant to be playing?
I think he's
like,
playing Mole Man, I think. Right?
Mailman, and I'd assume it's not a massive part. It's just like a.
This to me, and I posted under this. This is an expectation builder that makes people hate movies because you're not saying that it was that you had fun on set or that everybody you worked with was really happy about the movie or the cool elements of it. This is a vague hype statement, and what it does is it makes people go into the movie like thinking if this isn't a 10 out of 10 movie, then I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah. But dude, I have to jump off immediately. I have to jump off like right now, but I'll talk to you and I guess everyone else at a later
Everyone
date.
else later. All right. Sounds good.
Bon voyage. Is that what they say? No, au revoir. See ya.
And now it is just us. It's just us, everybody. Let's see. What else do we have here to talk about? Trying to see if there's anything left. I want to say I'm really disturbed. I'm really disturbed by this, which is all of the AI theft of Studio Ghibli's style. I was like, wait a minute, is this what people really want? People just want to create bad memes out of like art style that's got passion behind it. I hate this era. I hate this era that we're in with AI at this point. And I know we've talked about it quite a lot, but I don't mind assisting AI, stuff that helps you be more productive or can help you in a job where you need to go for efficiency. But I fucking hate that AI is being used for art as a replacement for actual artists. I think it is one of the laziest fucking things you can do. It's one of the laziest things you can do. And I'm not necessarily speaking to people who are doing it for like their thumbnails or whatever, but people who are stealing it and using it to possibly make money off of it. Like the studios out there that are going, we're going to use AI to do XYZ. We're going to replace directors and actors, voice actors and artists with AI. It's awful. It's awful. Alicia says, no, people don't want AI art. It's very unpopular. People literally boycott projects for having used AI. I would like to think that's going to be the energy moving forward, but I just don't know. I'm a little concerned. I think we actually need more protections on this. Now, I know when they did the strikes a couple years ago, this was one of the big issues for people, directors, actors, writers, was about AI. I'm still concerned. I still think it could be a problem. I still think we could be looking at the worst possible outcome for this. So I'm worried about it. Lone Wolf, I did see a message from you. Let me head over here. Right here. Giancarlo Esposito says he wants to play Mr. Freeze in James Gunn's DCU. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I'm not totally sold on this one. I love him as an actor. Great actor. Kills almost every role that he's in. But I don't want him to just play every villain under the sun. If that makes any sense. I could see him in this role, though. Let me know what you guys think. Thumbs up or thumbs down on this one. I don't know. I thought he was good in Brave New World. Have y'all seen the smear campaign on Rachel Zegler? The article that came out? It's pretty fucking disgusting, to be honest. Disney trying to throw her under the bus for a movie that isn't performing the way they want, which was really stupid, by the way. Really stupid. Let me tell you why this is stupid, okay? This article here is not the article. This is a rebuttal to that article. But let me tell you why it's really stupid. All the stuff that's coming out about Rachel Zegler and what she said, and people, I think it was like one of the executive's sons went to talk to her or something like that. It feels like Disney is trying to dig themselves out of this hole with Snow White, which there's issues with Snow White. Darren talked about it a little bit here the other day. But you're talking about a 100-year-old character. 100-year-old character. In this article, it kind of goes over it. Rachel Zegler's innocent. Why the internet is so incredibly wrong about one of our most promising actors, which, by the way, she is. And she's the best part of Snow White. She's the best part of the movie. So it doesn't make any sense for her to bear the brunt of the movie not being successful. Almost every single review that I read about this movie has said that she is the best part of the movie. Their words, not mine. It says here, there was a lot of harassment from certain groups of people. They were showing up at my apartment and screaming profanities. This was back in 2023. As a star on a rise, still in her early 20s, Zegler does not have the safety or security of a mansion residents tucked away in a place like Hollywood Hills. She's a working actor who takes public transit to work. So the fact that people found her residency is far more horrific than appearing on a map to the Star Tours. Disney disclosed to Variety that they hired additional security for Zegler's Snow White co-star Gal Gadot due to death threats she received as a former Miss Israel pageant winner and soldier with the IDF. But there's been much to no word on whether or not they extended the security to Zegler for targeted harassment she received, which is crazy because the vast majority of the people here on YouTube that have been talking about Snow White have been doing so in spite of Zegler, not Gal Gadot. There's almost no criticism of Gal Gadot from the people here on YouTube that were criticizing the movie. The hard truth is that the general public and panicky studio heads greatly overestimate the power of online discourse. I agree with this. For every story like Sonic the Hedgehog gets a redesign due to fan backlash, there are a dozen online exclusive dissensions that barely make a blip. If social media engagement numbers truly had the power many people, including those same panicky studio heads, like to believe they do, there would be a direct correlation between influencers being cast in movies and box office returns. Spoiler alert, there isn't. The general public not only doesn't care, we've talked about this. We've talked about this before. The general public not only doesn't care about whatever nonsense is being spread online about Rachel Zegler, they have no idea why it's even happening. I've talked about this like time after time after time. That a lot of this stuff is chronically online stuff. It's people getting on the internet and being mad about stuff every single day, day after day after day. It's chronically online stuff that most of the general public doesn't even care about. It's the same reason people were discovering every day that J.K. Rowling is one of the society's most vocal anti-trans celebrities, because unless you're actively online, these conversations are very easy to miss. True. Why do we think that all these Harry Potter things that are successful in defiance of J.K. Rowling's personal views? That's why I've said that I think the Harry Potter TV series is probably going to do well. It's probably going to do well because most people don't know, the general public, most of them don't know the kind of stuff that J.K. Rowling does on the internet. That's just the reality of it. In actuality, Snow White wasn't a smash hit because the trailer looked nightmarish. The reviews weren't all that great. Most kids were more hyped for Moana 2 than a Disney princess story that's nearly 90 years old. The bloated budget set the film up for failure by requiring a massive performance to break even. The industry has foolishly trained families to wait a few months for a film to hit Disney Plus. I feel like I wrote this. This is almost freaky to me. The industry has foolishly trained families to wait a few months for a film to hit Disney Plus instead of spending nearly $100 for a family of 4 to head out to the theater. Holy shit. We talk about this every week, you guys. I feel like I've said this so many times. Placing the blame on Zegler is nothing more than skirting accountability and allowing a billion-dollar corporation to cosplay as Principal Skinner on The Simpsons when he said, "Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong." Very well said. Good analogy. It says, in the days before and after the opening weekend of Snow White, Variety published multiple articles about the controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler, with the most egregious published on March 25th. That's the one that I read. And it's so crazy to me that they were willing to let the movie fail by putting out bad press so insanely close to when the movie came out. So insanely close. They didn't even wait to see. They didn't even wait to see how well the movie was going to do before they started putting out hit piece articles. They weren't even going to give it a shot. The article in the feedback loop from those who agreed with the assessment that followed was a blatant stab to paint Zegler's social media statements supporting Palestine and being anti-Trump as the huntsman's blade in the heart of the film's possible success. Not unlike the way director Nia DaCosta was positioned as the sole responsible party to the poor box office performance of the Marvels. I agree. This goes on to say, it's embarrassing, honestly, excuse me, it's embarrassing, sorry. It's embarrassing, honestly, to witness his very clear attempt to control the narrative surrounding a film's critical and financial journey by capitalizing on the loudest, cruelest people online, all of whom are practically frothing at the mouth for the chance to unleash baseless, disgusting character assassinations on the person who is the only reason the film works at all. Down at the bottom it says, I'm begging some of you to get actual problems. I'm eagerly waiting on a wish that Zegler gets to work with people who value her worth. 100%. 100%. I agree with all of that. I agree with all that. All right, so I want to stay on for a minute just to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I'm sorry that my voice has been on a path to destruction. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to make any content between now and Saturday. I'm going to rest my voice. Saturday is the 5-hour stream. It's been scheduled for a week. You guys might want to go over to that one, hit the notification so you remember when we're doing it. We're going to cover all of the stuff that you guys, well, almost all of it, like 90% of the stuff that you guys have tipped for over the last month and a half. We're going to do that on the stream with a bunch of people. I know Darren, 3Dub's going to be there. Darren's going to be there. Lance is going to be there at some point. Paige is going to be there at some point. The invitation is open for a bunch of people. So who knows who's going to show up? I have no idea. Anyway, thanks everybody so much for the super chat. You guys are amazing. We hit the monthly goal. Actually, we exceeded it. So thank you guys so much for that. My voice is going. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Once again, thank you guys so much for hanging out with the Nocturnal Nerdcast. I do have a pre-recorded video from yesterday going up on my Debunks channel tomorrow. There's going to be no content on the Reloaded channel tomorrow unless I post something in the community tab. I'm going to be saving up my voice and getting better for Saturday. So again, thank you guys so much. Have a good night, everyone. Enjoy your weekend, and I will see everybody on Saturday. Take care.